Hello everyone and welcome to Cybersecure India. Today is our session 4 of the training and internship program, and we have a very unique topic today, that is Burpsuite, which is required for like pen testing. And today we have an expert speaker who will be talking on Burpsuite for that. So I will just introduce our today's speaker. Ashutosh sir, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay.
Hello.
Just yeah.
Yep. Should I continue, sir?
No. Hold on, just a minute.
Okay.
Let me check with the live thing, right?
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just wanted to confirm if the live streaming is going on right now. Okay. So I'll introduce Ashutosh sir, that is today's speaker. So Ashutosh sir is a cybersecurity enthusiast and a bug hunter. Currently, he works as a DevOps security analyst. Also, like he has won first prize at Indian DevOps Show 2022 for best use of DevOps and security tools. He has more than 2 years of experience in cybersecurity domain, and he's also an empaneled speaker of Cybersecure India. He participates in a lot of online and offline sessions. He represents Cybersecure India in a lot of offline sessions also. So thank you very much, Ashutosh sir, for taking out your time and joining for the session. So our audience is keen here to listen to you and waiting for the same. Over to you, Ashutosh sir. You can say.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a great introduction. So, hello everyone. Myself Ashutosh Upadhyay, and today we are going to talk about Burpsuite, a cybersecurity tool which has been used a lot in the cyber domain. Talking about Burpsuite first, like what Burpsuite actually is. If you just search on the Google of Burpsuite, you may find that Burpsuite has been like officially released by Portsinger. Is a tool given as a Portsinger, and it has been used by all cybersecurity domains. Like even if you are in penetration testing, or if you're a bug hunter, security researcher, or security engineer at any level, at any post, you have to use Burpsuite. Like it's just kind of you can say mandatory, or if you are ever starting with the cybersecurity domain, then also you should have to familiar with the Burpsuite, right? But what actually Burpsuite is? When you're talking about Burpsuite, what actually it is? Is it like similar to Wireshark or something, or what? So for those who are completely beginner to this domain, let me just introduce to this Burpsuite tool. Burpsuite is like tool which we used for intercepting the traffics, for manipulating the traffics, and also a part of that, Burpsuite has lots of more and lots of add-ons over there, right? So today, like we are going to continue with the Burpsuite Professional. So I have a Burpsuite Professional installed in my computer. But if any of you want to install the Burpsuite, they can just go to this website, codeSinger.net. From there, or else you can just search on the Google, like regarding Burpsuite download, right? You can go on the Google, you can search for Burpsuite download, and over there, you may find few of different versions like Burpsuite community version, community edition, professional edition, as well as enterprise edition. So when we are talking about different editions of Burpsuite, actually there are total 3 editions, right? First, that is community edition. Second, that is professional one, and enterprise one, right? What's the difference between them is like community version is available freely to all, like anyone can just go and download Burpsuite community version and then they can use it. It is open source, right? When we're talking about professional one, the professional version of Burpsuite come along with lots of more features, lots of more advanced features which may help us in finding the bugs, in playing with the traffics and all, right? When we're talking about the enterprise version is in used in enterprises in corporates where they can use it for more, you can say, CI/CD pipelines for automations and for other more process, other more stuffs, right? That when we use in enterprise. But when talking about the like most used version of bots in Burpsuite, the most used version of Burpsuite is a professional version, which come along with lots of more features. So for those who want to install the Burpsuite, just go to Google and search for downloading Burpsuite and installation. You get this guide over there. You can choose your community edition. Go on, just install it over there, right? Once you install, or if you have professional version, you can go with professional one. I'm just continuing the professional. When you open the Burpsuite, when you just initiate the Burpsuite, you will get the interface look like this, right? Where you may have options like temporary project, new project on a disk, or opening new projects. Okay. In community editions, I guess new project on a disk and opening new project has been disabled, like it is not available. Community edition only offers you this temporary project, but in professional, new project on a disk and existing project also available, right? So when talking about new project on a disk, so let's say for example, I'm doing hunting or I'm just working on a particular site, a particular domain or target, you can say. If I'm working on a particular target and I want to save my works over there, like for example, today I just I try to hunt lots of works on my target, let's say target abcd.com, and I want to just take a pause and I will continue tomorrow, right? So I can save all the works I done today in a file, and tomorrow I can start that project. Or either if I want to start some new project, I can start with a new project and continue with this abcd.com afterwards, right? So in this manner, these two options like new project on the disk and open new existing project, these two option like helps us to maintain or to be like flexible with the projects, different sites, different domains, different targets, correct? Okay. So, but for now, we are going to continue with this temporary project. Okay, I will just shut it down. Cool. We are going to continue with this temporary project. Uh, Next, when you do next, it's gonna ask you about your configurations. So when talking about configuration is nothing but your Burpsuite settings or like what configuration you have set over there. So Burpsuite offers you the default configuration, or else if you have any configuration associated with your project, the project like that I shown you behind the like new projects or existing project, if you select, right, the configuration or settings associated with that project, then this option will be available. Right now I'm using temporary, right? And the third option, there is load from configuration file. So if you have any of your file for settings, custom settings and all, then you can choose it. But for now, we are going to continue with use of default. That is the default settings over there. Correct? Okay. Then start. When you press on the start, it's gonna launch the Burpsuite software which is there. So it which look like somewhat this. You may also look like something like this. If you're working on the community edition, you may look it may look something different. Like you may seen there some of the different things. Like here there are some different definition and all. But for now, let's just continue with this dashboard only. So this is how your Burpsuite look like. It offers you several tabs like dashboard, target, proxy, intruder, repeater, collaborator, sequencer, decoder, comparer, loggers, extensions, and learn. Right? Today we are going to talk about this all tabs, like what this is all about, what are the various features Burpsuite offers us, how we can utilize Burpsuite like more conveniently, so it can help us in finding and reporting the bugs. While talking about Burpsuite now, let me just give you a pro tip. Like Burpsuite is so powerful now. So like if you just learn how to use Burpsuite in its like full version, like utilizing all of its feature and all, your dependency on various other tools will be like there is no dependence on various other tool. Like no other tool required to you, right? You can do a lot of stuff over here, including your domain enumeration, subdomain enumeration, directory enumerations, as well as finding the bugs like SQL injections, as well as accesses. CSRF, like a lot. You can do most of the stuff from the Burpsuite only. That's why when we are starting with the cybersecurity domain, and we are learning cybersecurity domain, and we want to start our career in these. So each and every one, like once they, at least once, they have to be like familiar with the Burpsuite, right? Okay, back to the topic. Like, what about this all tabs over there on the Burpsuite, right? So talking about the first tab, that is dashboard. So just to overview about dashboard, we are going to come back in the dashboard again. So just to overview, as the name suggests itself, dashboard gonna show us the dashboard of all of the stuffs going on in Burpsuite, correct? So what it's gonna show? It's gonna show your, there are four sections. If you see, first section is regarding your crawling and all. Some options, something is there. In second option, box that is given issue activity and all, but it is blank right now. In third, there is event log. Fourth, there is advisory. So we are going to come back in the dashboard, because right now it's not gonna show us something because we haven't done any of the stuff over there, correct? So we're going to come back on the dashboard. Before that, just proceed with another tab. So we can start with the target first, correct? So what is target? Okay, so in the target in Proxy, you may see there is some options given like learn more or open browsers, right? What it is. So when I click on the open browser, it's gonna open a default Chrome browser with Burpsuite, right? So what it is. So for using the Burpsuite tool, you have to configure a browser so that it can intercept all the requests passing through the browser in the Burpsuite, right? But in the latest version of the Burpsuite, in the newest version of the Burpsuite also, like from the last 1 year, I guess 1 or 1.5 year, Burpsuite has started offering this inbuilt browser, that is the default browser, which has been pre-configured according to the software. So you don't have to just manually configure your browser according to Burpsuite. So just to start, let us just start with this browser only, this default browser provided by Burpsuite. So what it's gonna show? What it's gonna show in the target? So for example, I just go on google.com, right? I'm just entering google.com, random. Here in the target on the sitemap, I can say something is going on, right? You all can see what's happening over there. Here I just entered google.com, and here you can see it's just showing me all the few of the domains of google.com, aps.google.com, adservice.google.com, gstatic and all. So in the target, in the sitemap, in target also there are three tabs, right? Okay, I gonna close it. First is sitemap, issue definition, and scope setting. What are these? When we're talking about the sitemap now, it's gonna show us like whatsoever target we are surfing, whatsoever target we are visiting, their details, like what are the target. For example, if there is target name google.com, so for google.com I can see what are the different files or different directories available over there. So for example, on google.com, if I just go to sign in, so I can see another target added over here, right? accounts.google.com. In accounts.google.com, there are several different directories, right? Generate 204, sign in, service, logout, right? So these are nothing but you can also like see these all things by entering in your developer option. Go to network, and if you just refresh now, you're gonna see all of this request passing over there, right? So what your Burpsuite is doing, it is doing nothing but it's just monitoring all of your traffics passing through the browser, and just listing all of them in your Burpsuite tools, so that it's gonna make you easy to see like what are the requests going through the Burpsuite, correct? So right now here on the left, I'm just seeing what are the different domains or subdomains which has been visited of the target, right? In the center there's a content, something is given in the content, right? In content, if I scroll up and down, I can see there are various different requests over there. I just click on any of the request, I can see the request and the response of that particular packet, or you can say particular traffic, right? So for example, this v3 sign in, I can just see the request. What was the actual request? It was just a post request, right? And what the response has been given, that is 200 okay and all, right? All the stuff, correct? So on the target, on the sitemap, what I'm seeing here, in the left side, I'm just seeing all the different domain and subdomain. In the center, that is in the contents, for each different targets. Like here, this all nothing but a target, right? So on the google.com, for example, for this play.google.com, for this target, I'm gonna see where is all the different request which has been sent to this target, to this host. Correct. Here you can see the host, that is play.google.com. For this host, method that is been used. So when we are talking about methods, there are different methods you all know, like post request, get request, or you can say put request, patch request, delete, and all. Right? There are different methods for the requests, right? So here you can see one get request and one options request, one post request. So these are nothing but your methods. Method has been used in this particular request, right? So in the content we are looking, we are seeing the host, we are seeing the methods, we are actually seeing the URLs, the actual URL that has been called, right? I can just move this slide ahead and I can move it right there. Correct. Okay, a bit more. Perfect. So we are seeing the logs. That is a URL which has been called, right? We are also seeing slash log format, JSON and all. In the params, what the param is, it is nothing but a parameter, correct? So when we're talking about params, it's gonna show us that this particular request contains parameters or not. What is parameter? So for example, if I'm talking about this particular request, so here the data has been passed along with the request. That is nothing but our parameters, right? Apart of that, there are different other parameters in the headers also, right? So if parameter is over there, it's gonna show us like in the log. If you see a slash log, there is param is not present over there. So we can see there is no parameter has been passed with this request. And also in the response of this slash log, we are not seeing any of the response, right? That's why here we are seeing a status code is not available. But a part of that first request, we're gonna see that status 200, that is a request successful. Length of the request, length of the request and response, and MIME type is nothing but your type of the response you are getting, that is in the JSON or in the HTML, or it is your JS file or what, right? Talking about title and comments is nothing but if you are using filters, right? So when I'm talking about filters, uh, okay, okay, we are going to talk about this. What are the comments? So for example, I am just looking for another filter, like in particular request, if any particular word is present over there. So I want to highlight that, right? So for example, I'm just doing hunting on a admin panel. So what I want, if admin word is present over there, so I want to highlight it, right? I can use regex for that. I'm going to show you regarding that also, but before that, just consider, let us just talk about what are there in the target, right? So we are talking about this play. In the title and comment, we're gonna mention about that. After that, here another details given provided is time requested, or the time of the request of the request of this particular request given over there, the time it has been sent or the time it has been received, right? And in the right corner, you can see there are issues mentioned. What are these? So these are nothing but the issues that has been identified by the Burpsuite itself. So when we're talking about Burpsuite Professional, no, and also in the Burpsuite community version, but it doesn't support in that level. But when we're talking about the Burpsuite Professional, in the background, whenever we are setting searching for the traffic, so we're looking for the traffic or surfing on internet, in the background it's gonna scan the website with its default checks, right? And by scanning the website, it's gonna show us like different issues which has founded to the Burpsuite. And for each particular issues, we can see here the advisories, like what are the issue, how to solve it and all. And also we are looking here the request and the response of that particular issue, like on what basis Burpsuite is identifying that particular issue is present over there, correct? So this is just to give you the overview about how the target tab looks like. But when we go back to the dashboard for now, uh, now here you can see a few of the stuff have been like added here. So now we can talk about the dashboard, what actually present in the dashboard, correct? When we're talking about dashboard now, first of all, here you can see on the top there are two buttons given: new scan, and this one is new live task. So what is this? The new scan is nothing but as I said, Burpsuite provide its own scanning tool, right? It's gonna scan your site domains or scan your all the network traffics for the vulnerabilities, like on the basis of different checks present over there. Correct. So when we talk about new scan, let's say I want to create a new scan. Okay. On the scan, this tab open, right? When I click on the new scan, this tab opens, right? In this tab, what it's gonna ask? It's gonna ask me the scan details, scan configuration, application resource pool. In the scan detail, I have to like select a option. Either I want to just crawl the website, or either I want to crawl and audit. So what it mean by crawl and audit? So for example, if I'm visiting any of the website, for example, let's check example ashutoshubadhyay.tech. It is a website I am visiting, correct? So if I will do a crawl, so it's gonna just Burpsuite gonna crawl the website, all over the website, and find out different directories, different links available over there and all, right? But when I will select crawl and audit, so here what it's gonna do, it's gonna crawl the website. Yeah, for sure, it's gonna crawl the website and gonna collect all the details, like what are the different directories present over there, what are the hyperlinks present over there, and you're gonna crawl at that level also. Like it's gonna go to that particular directory, and over there it's gonna also crawl over there, right? After crawling, it also gonna audit all the request, like is any of the misconfiguration present over there, any of the vulnerability that Burpsuite founds all over like the domain it has been crawled. So it's gonna audit also, and after auditing, it's gonna give us the response. Sorry, not response. It's gonna give us the result about the auditing. Correct. So for example, for now we can take an example of okay. So today let's choose the target as um, test fire. Okay, cool. Testfire.net. Let's say this is our target for today. Correct. Here, what I did, I just visited this testfire.net. So today we are going to test this testfire.net. Okay, I just copy this link, right? And we are here in this new scan. In the new scan, I'm going to pass the URL testfire.net. And if I select on crawl and audit, so it's gonna crawl this testfire.net, and it's gonna like scan for all the different domains and subdomains present over there. And after that, it also gonna crawl all the different directories present over there. Like when we're talking Fireside, test fire, it's gonna crawl over this all the hyperlinks presents, like you can see the hyperlink index.jsp, assign in contact and all, correct. And after crawling, it also gonna audit them and give me the response. Fine. This is what present in the scan details. We can specify more than one domain over here, right? uh Below there, there's just some option present like protocol settings. In the protocol setting, you're gonna ask us about using HTTPS or using any specified protocol. So here, if I don't want to use HTTPS or HTTP, if I want to use some different protocol, I can specify my, or else I can use HTTP and HTTPS. So either I can just enter here testfire.net. Then also it's gonna scan for HTTP and HTTPS both, right? Okay. What's there in the scan configuration? When we're talking about scan configuration, it's nothing but the scan we are launching over here. What are the configuration I want to set for it? Like what are the settings I want to set for this particular scan? Either I can use the preset scan, or I can use my custom one. Correct. In the preset one, which has been like provided by the Burpsuite itself, they are providing us 4 different modes. Like we can go for lightweight, that is gaining fast feedback on site security for when the speed is a priority, right? So it's gonna scan all the scan and audit our website within 15 minutes. That is the first option. Second option is fast. The fast mode gonna take 1 hour, but it's gonna scan and audit some like a bit deeper and more accurately. And talking about balanced, the balance gonna maintain both, like it's gonna go faster as well as gonna audit properly also. But the deep one, this required a lot of time, but it's gonna scan much more deeper and deeper, and gonna like verify your verify and reduce your false positives and all, right? So you can select any of the four modes. But a part of this also, you can also go for your custom configuration. So when I go for custom configuration, right now I haven't created any, but I will just click on new. Like I want to create a new custom configuration for crawling as well auditing, non asking. So if I just select crawling, so for crawling, the configurations Burpsuite provide is like I can select a lot of things. Like I can go for crawling optimization, crawl limit, like how much time I want to allocate for the crawling. I can limit it over here. I can go for login function. So okay, let's go one by one. When we're talking about crawl optimization, what the crawl optimization is. So here we can provide like how deep we want to crawl, right? So here, for example, I just provided length maximum link depth 4. So it's gonna crawl at 4 layer deeper. So what the mean by 4 layer deeper? So let's say my website is abcd.com. So on abcd.com, it's gonna crawl on APCD. After that, it may found slash home. After that, it may found slash login. After that, it may found slash admin. So it's gonna crawl from my root domain, that is abcd.com. After that, it's gonna also crawl for this slash home, then slash login slash admin. But after this, it is not, it don't gonna like go more deeper. It gonna going to crawl for 4 length. So I can just reduce it to 1 or to 0, or not 0 is not defined, 2 1 or something, right? And talking about the strategy, like how you want to do faster, fastest, normal, more complete, most complete, and all. So you can select it accordingly. In that is option provided by the crawl optimization. When talking about crawl limits, so in crawl limits, we are just setting the limits, like what will be the limitation for the each crawl, each threads over there, right? So in the crawl limit, we are specifying maximum crawl time. Like I want to crawl for maximum 150 minutes. Like within 150 minutes, I want to crawl as much as I can. So once the time's up, I will just stop crawling and proceed with the auditing and all, right? And part of that, maximum unique location discovered. So the maximum location I want to discover, that is we are going to define the goal, like for this particular target. Let's say for the target testfire.net. Okay, for example, for target testfire.net, we are specifying the maximum unique location discovered. That is let's say I just define here 10. So it's gonna only discover 10 unique location. So once it find 10 unique location, it's gonna stop crawling, correct? So here we are just defining the limits, like when we have to stop the crawling and after how many time, or like after when we achieve the goal. So we can define here the goal, and also we can define the maximum request count, how much request we want to send. Apart of that, we can go for login function. When we're talking about login function, uh, here we can define like if you want to automate your login function. For example, if you want Burpsuite to like auto login into the login page, so most of the times it's gonna work like you can define your login functions. You have to first define actually your user IDs and passwords, your default user ID and password. So anytime Burpsuite found any login page, it will try to register over there using that credential, using the data you are going to provide. And after that, also it also going to try for login, correct? But this login function may work or may not work sometimes. Like if your login page consists of captcha verification and all, so it may not work sometimes. So it may be the optional. But when we're talking about we are proceeding with the next one, that is handling application errors during crawl. So here we can just specify like how much error you can you can like let's handle while crawling. Like you can handle 15 consecutive request timeout. So what here, like when we want our crawling to stop, right? So I just want, if I want to stop my crawling once it discover the 15 consecutive request timeout. So once if 15 consecutive requests, when we're talking consecutive requests, like which it means like one by another, like continue in the continuous manner, right? So when I'm talking about consecutive request, if I just define here 10, for example, I just define here 10. So what it means is like once the Burpsuite discovered that my 10th request continue back to back is getting some timeout or something, so I will stop crawling, right? So here we are defining when we want our Burpsuite to just stop, right? A part of that, we can provide some on the basis of different factor, that is on the basis of percentage, or and all, right? When we're talking about this crawl project optional override and this miscellaneous, it is something like you can define more, like you can say more options that is part of the Burpsuite to like configure your crawling, like how you want to crawl and all. So when talking about Burpsuite override, so it means like these settings let you override the settings, define the project's option for crawling tasks. So for example, if you want to define some option that gonna be important and you want it to be like override, correct? So you can define it over here. A part of that in the miscellaneous also, you can define your custom user agents. You can define for like some specific directory if you want to. So here, just like here, it is given submit forms. So what it means, like if on the while crawling the website, if Burpsuite founds any of the form over there, so it will try to submit that form by filling the dummy data or isn't the garbage data in the form, correct? A part of that, there is another option called as customize user agent. So if you want that your request for crawling uses any of the customized user agent, you can define over here. So like this option, most of the times it's been used in the enterprise or like when we are hunting for the particular, you can say particular target. So sometimes there is some requirement by the target that while you are scanning our domain, try to use this particular user agent so that we will not block your requests and all. So if there is some such conditions, and then you can go for this particular setting, or if there is some requirement according to the organization all, then you can opt for this, correct? And there are some different there are also different options like request for robot.txt, request for sitemap, request for hidden links and pass apis and all. So here also like follow the hidden link in comments and javascripts. So like you can just understand that the website is gonna crawl all over the website, right? Either there present some javascripts, there is some link present in the javascripts also, so it's also gonna try that the links present in the JavaScript used in the website, correct? A part of that, you can go for the okay. So like this is configurations options that is been provided by Burpsuite for crawling only. So here we are just trying looking for the crawling. A part of crawling, there is another option given for auditing. So when I opt for the auditing one, like if I want to provide the configuration for the auditing, I can also do provide some manual options. Like I can opt for audit optimization. For optimization, I can define here like either I want to skip some request. Either when I'm getting timeout from any of the request, I want to skip it after 5 consecutive requests and all. I want to like allow Burpsuite to follow the redirection whenever necessary. Like for if any of the directory is giving me 302 like redirection, so Burpsuite will follow that and go to the site it has been like showing. Part of that we can go for issue reported and all. So in the issue reported and all, we can go for uh, we can here opt for like what kind of scan we want to run. Like we want to run passive, we want to light active, medium active, intrusive, or JavaScript analysis. So this is nothing but the predefined by the Burpsuite. You can go for yourself, like if you want some particular bugs only, like if you want only for example OS injection, so you can only enable your OS injection and just disable all of the others. So Burpsuite gonna scan only for OS command injection, and it will not scan for any of the another bugs, correct? So here you can see a lot of different vulnerabilities has been covered by the Burpsuite itself in its by the default scan provided by the Burpsuite, correct? And moving ahead, you can handling application error during audit. So here you can see if two consecutive audit check fail, skip remaining checks and consider insertion point. Like here you can define like when Burpsuite crawler have to do what. For example, if it's getting JavaScript, then how it should respond? Should it go into the JavaScript deeper? Should it scan for the links present in the JavaScript? And how it should respond to the links that is found in the JavaScript and all. So this was just an example. So considering the example, here are different options available for you if you want to like manually configure your scan configurations. But for now, I will just opt for preset scan mode, that is lightweight. Correct. You can go for the custom configuration if you want, like lots of more options available over there. moving ahead, you can see here application login. So in the scan configurations, when I just show you in the order crawling one, you have found here like this login function, correct? When you're talking about the login function, I just told you that login function is something where Burpsuite tries to log in the login page if some found somewhere. So the details it's gonna try, the data it's gonna enter in that login pages, you can define them over here. So here you can define like a label. For example, I want to try for credentials. Just a minute. Okay, I'm just defining here credentials for testfire.net. In the username, I am passing here admin, password I am passing here admin, and okay. So it's gonna try for the username admin and password admin whenever it's gonna find any of the login pages over there. So here we can go for like you can enter your data manually, or either you can opt for this second option. Like if there is some additional option required for login, right? So you can record the sequence, like some sequence gonna follow. Yeah. So you can record the sequence also using this. So how it works is like, for example, I just go to this Chrome, right? I'm in the Chrome. Here the extension provided by Burpsuite, that is this Burpsuite container extension. So when I run it, it's gonna ask me like your Burpsuite navigation recorder. I can start the recording. I can record the steps which should be follow in order to log in. Right? I can start recording. I can go in sign in, and then I can just enter my username and password and log in, and I will stop. And I will just paste the data I'm getting from the year so that I can just pass like how I want to log in into the login page. So you can also just pass here your recorded sequence, correct? When talking about this resource pool, so resource pool is something where you are allocating how much resources your Burpsuite should take, correct? Your Burpsuite can utilize or Burpsuite can use how much resource you are allocating the Burpsuite. So you can define your concurrent request, or you can define request delay, random delay and all. You can create your own resource pool. So let's say I'm just creating my another resource pool named as test, correct? So I can just define here the maximum concurrent request. So when talking about the maximum concurrent request, so at a instance of the time, let's say for the instance of the time, how much request can go, can crawl, or can audit at the particular time. So here I can define I want 10 different requests to work at the particular time, or here I can also define 1,000. But that depends upon your network, like how much your network capability, as well as like how fast your network is, as well as your the resources of your device you are using, like how much memory or CPU presents in your device, right? That totally depend on that also, on that factor actually. A part of that, you can also define your different options like the delay between the request. So for example, if you're crawling another website and WAF or some WAF and ID something is present over there on the website, correct? And so if you are crawling the website, it's gonna block all of your requests, right? Why? Because Web always blocks the robots from robots, or like you can say blocks the bots from crawling the websites. So how they are identifying between the bots and the humans? So the basic factor they are identifying between the bots and the humans is nothing but their behavior, the request per second they are sending, or the delay between the two requests and something, right? So there are, this is the like basic factor that has been used to identify between the bots as well as between bots and humans. So here, yeah, to being on the safe side, you can define that I want to delay two requests with 100 milliseconds or something, or you can say 10 requests, 10 milliseconds something. So Burpsuite gonna send two requests with the delay of 10 or 100, whatever value you define over here, so that it's gonna look like some legit request from the legit human being, so that we can bypass the web from a manner like from blocking or requests, right? So you can just try for this also. And okay, so that is what present in the resource pool. So when we talk about the new scan, we can just talked about the new scan, right? I just talk about just a quick summary. What we talk, we just talk about the scan details. In scan details, we have to provide here the domain name on which we want to scan. We want to run the scan, as well as we have to. Okay, so let's say I just start my scan on testfire.com. For the timing, I just select this domain. Okay. Okay. I will just pass this domain over here, right? I will go for crawl and audit options. And here you can define more if you want to, like include a prefix and all. Or you can define here the excluded URL prefix. Like if you want to define, like I want to crawl all the website which include this particular host name or something. So you can opt for that, correct? I want to like crawl all the website which contain the prefix as this. So when I'm talking about prefix as this, so it's gonna crawl all the directories over there, right? Okay. Moving ahead in the scan configuration, I will select lightweight for now, right? And application login, I will not use right now. Resource pool, the default one, and I can start. That is okay. So here you can see it is starting crawling and auditing, correct? It's gonna take some time. You can say a lot of the time you can say. So here it's gonna call all the website. And here in the right side, you can see the issue activity. Here you can see what are the different requests I've been sending, and like if you click on any of the requests, for example, I just click over here, this one. So here it is showing me issue found. What the issue found? Issue found, that is frameable response, that is clickjacking. So here it found some issue, the clickjacking vulnerability in the website testfire.net. So if you click on this on any of the issues over here, so in the below, you can see the advisories, like what is the actual issue is. So advisory for clickjacking attack has been defined over here, like what actually this clickjacking attack is, how you can fix that issue, and the other references if you want to read more and if you want to know more about this vulnerability, they also provide the links over here for references, right? Apart of this adversary, you can see the request and the response, like on the basis of which request and response the Burpsuite is telling us that the click it is vulnerable to clickjacking attack, right? So for now, if you just see on the response, you will see that here no extreme option header is not present over here. So when we're talking about the clickjacking attack, if any of the URL, any of the request in which the any of the response, if there is click extreme option is not present over there, CORS is not configured properly, then it is vulnerable to clickjacking attack. That is, it can be used in the iframe option and all, right? You can go for POC if you found something. But yeah, in the dashboard of the Burpsuite, just a some quick recap, like what we covered in the dashboard. We covered this new scan and this new live task also, that when you're talking about live task, it's gonna work like you can say parallelly with requests. For example, in the Chrome, if I'm surfing the Chrome, okay, my target website is testfire. I will just visit all the different domains and all the different links, not domains, all the different links provided over there. I will try to utilize all the different features provided over there, right? So whenever I'm just visiting all the different link, all the data, all the like information regarding that will be collected in this target one, correct? In this target tab, all the requests will be collected, right? So when I'm talking about this live task, so as soon as I click on any new link, it's gonna add that link into the scope. It's gonna scroll that also. So I can check your proxy, repeater, and intruder. So all the requests that is passed into the proxy, in the repeater, in the intruder, it's gonna scan them also. It's gonna scan everything, and the duplication, that is the if URL is duplicated, it's gonna skip that. You can also define here the scan configuration and all. That is our new live task, correct? Now, talking about back to the point, like just a quick recap of what we covered in the dashboard. So we had covered your new scan and live scan that is present over there. We have seen here in the left top, there is task presented. Here we can see what are different tasks running, like what are the scans running and all. Bottom, you can see the event log. Talking about the event log consists of the logs of Burpsuite, like what are the issues if Burpsuite faces any of the errors or any of the issues or logs over there. It's gonna log in over here. It's gonna show over here, correct? In the top right, you can see here the issue activity. So issue activity consists of various vulnerabilities, various issues which Burpsuite founds on the website. So it's gonna list them all over here, correct? And below that, just below over that, you just click on any of the issue and you can read about the issues, like what the actually issue is. the advisory regarding the issue, the request, like on the basis of which request Burpsuite is telling me that this particular issue is present over there. You can just look for that particular request and the particular response. Correct? Okay. Now what? Uh, uh, this is like about our dashboard. And moving ahead in the target one. So just now back with the target one also, we have just covered what the target one is. So in the target, in the left side, we just see all the different targets we are visiting, right? So a part of target, like the other option, it's just right click on any of the domain. I'm seeing various different options. I'm seeing here add to scope. So what actually scope means is, right? When I'm talking about scope, so for example, if my target domain is testfire, so I just want all the requests belonging to testfire.com to be appear over here, right? You can read it, right? If you add to the target, all the requests belonging to testfire only will be appear here. Other than that, all other requests will be discarded, like will be not intercepted by the Burpsuite. Correct? Okay, I will just re-enable it. And in the filter, if I just in the filter, I will select show only in scope and apply. So it's gonna only show me this testfire.net. It will hide all other requests, right? So here it is only showing me that yeah, testfire is my in scope, right? I can go in the scope setting. I can see that yeah, testfire.net has been added in the target scope. So what that means is like if I select my target, a part of testfire, you can just see, you can consider that the target is abc.com, right? So if I consider my target as abc.com, or you can say Tesla or any other different target as present over there, that's registered to VDP program if you're doing bug hunting, correct? So if you correct any of the target and you just want to like intercept all the requests, gather all the requests belonging to that particular target only, then you can add that target to your scope so that, and you can enable these filters, correct? And talking about these filters, what are the different filter present over there? Sorry, talking about a filter, what are the different filter present over there? So you can filter all the request, or you can say all the different domain present on the basis of various different factors, like you can show only in scope items. A part of that, you can go for MIME types, that is the response type. I just want to show only HTML. I want to show, okay, for example, I just want to show here my HTML codes and apply. So it's gonna show me all the requests in which HTML is present, correct? And then I will just apply here. I will hide the HTML and I will only show the script. So it's gonna show me all the requests in which the script is present over there, right? Either all right. In the Swagger also, JavaScript is present over there and all, correct? Talking about, we can try, let's just look for the different scopes, different filter settings. If you want, here you may see like in the bottom, you can see the filter by search item and rejects, right? So Burpsuite also filter the stuff on the basis of positive search and negative search. So what it means, what it means of positive and negative search. So for example, I want to scan for admin, right? I just selected the red admin and apply. So it's gonna show me all the requests in which admin, the particular word admin is present, right? So let's say any of the request, let's say this request only, I will search here also admin, right? So here admin is present over there, right? That's why this particular request is showing over here, right? I just selected here the regex. So this is kind of like, you can say, positive search, where you're looking for some keywords, and if keyword is present over there in the request, then that request will be shown to you, or else it will be just hidden, right? It will not shown. We can go for the negative search. What the negative search means is, if you want to show display all the requests in which the particular word admin is not present, right? I will apply. So I'm gonna see all the requests in which the particular word keyword admin is not present. So if I'll search over here, I can see here no matches, that is zero matches found, right? So it is an example of, you can say, negative search. So if you're talking about the case scenario, why we use positive and negative search. So for example, if you are just trying to log into, you are trying for username enumeration or something, right? And whenever you are trying to log in with the false password, right? So most of the website they show like the password you have entered is incorrect, correct? So you can just enter here incorrect or like incorrect password and go for negative search. So it's gonna show you all the requests in which incorrect password this particular word will be not present, particular string will be not there, right? So that's totally dependent on the different use cases on which basis you can utilize this particular feature. But yeah, it is present there, right? I will just go for show all and apply. So it's gonna show me all, right? I just define here. I want to show all the requests. So it is showing me all the different requests from the all the different websites, right? From the Google also, from YouTube also, from Desktop also. Okay. For example, I want to just delete this particular host or request belonging to this particular host. So I can just right click on it and I can go here down and can delete it. So I'm deleting all the requests belonging to that particular host, right? What are the different options present? Like first one is add to scope. By clicking on it, I can just add this particular host into my scope so that all the requests belonging to this host will be captured, correct? I can go for scan. I can add this particular domain for scanning. I just click, it's gonna run the new scan. And here you can see this particular domain is passed over here, right? You can define here like what are your scan configurations and all we have covered. Like you can just start your new scan over here, correct? Talking about another one, passive scan and active scan. Like passive scan is nothing but scanning. Yeah, you can see. Yeah, it is started, right? Passive scan is nothing but all the scanning on the basis of request present already presented, like already discovered, all the data that is already discovered. So for this particular domain, we have discovered this particular request. It's like this one, this two, and this three. We have discovered only three requests. So it's gonna scan this three requests. But when I click on the active scan, it's gonna crawl that website. It's gonna run. Okay, you know, crawl the website, it will scan for all the different. Okay, I will just stop it because I don't want to scan for that. Here you can see one of the scan is going on. We will come to back, we'll come back to that. Before that, just see what we are doing. Okay, we have seen here the scan, we have seen the active and passive scan. There is something called as engagement tool, which has been like given provided in the Burpsuite professional only. Like this feature is not present in the community version also, correct? So when we're talking about the engagement tool, in engagement tool there are some additional features provided. Like you can go for find comments, you can go for find scripts. So when I click on find script, it is displaying me all the different requests in which the script is present, like JavaScript is present over there, right? And also I can opt for like find references, analyze target. In analyze target, gonna show me all the different targets, dynamic URL, static URL. Right, it's gonna analyze the host, right? For example, if I go to testify.net, I guess we had covered a lot. Like we have captured a lot of requests. Like okay, so we just right click over here, and if I will just analyze the target, I can see like total number of static URL discovered is 12. Total unique parameter names is 6. Dynamic URL is 6. I can see the dynamic URL. I can see a static URL. I can see the parameters and all. Correct. Okay. So that is about the this analyze target. We can go for discover content, schedule tasks, stimulate manual testing and all. So that all the additional features in the engagement tool. Talking about another one, that is compare sitemaps. So compare sitemap is nothing but we are going to compare each sitemap which suppose I want to compare this one with this one. So I can compare like for example, I will just go for this compare sitemap, use sitemap, use all item with the responses, load bubs and all. I have to select the file, the previous file I have saved in the project. So I have not saved any of the previous projects. So just to overview what that is. So when we go to the compare sitemaps, we can compare all the sitemaps present over here with the sitemaps we have saved in the projects previously. So for example, I yesterday I had also done any of the scanning over the domain called as abc.com, and today also I discovered some of the scanning over abc.com. So I can compare both the requests, so I can identify what are the unique URL I had found, what are the new stuff I had discovered today which was not present yesterday also. So there are something called about compare the sitemaps. There are different other options provided, like we can go for expand the branch, we can delete the host, we can copy the URLs and all right. So right now in the sitemap we have seen the scope, right? So in the scope setting, if you just go in the scope setting, you can see there like okay, I have just told right what the scope setting is. So if we just add any of the domain in the scope setting, then Burpsuite gonna intercept request only belonging to that particular host. So for example, testfire. So in this case, Burpsuite going to intercept all the requests belonging to testfire only. So if I will just go for the google.com on the browser, it will not intercept that google.com, right? So that's the scope one. And also we can also set here the exclude from the scope. So what that means is, let's say there is some host which I don't want to intercept every time. So for example, most of the time when we visit on the target domains, and we just see that sometimes Google Analytics is present over there, right? So every time I will click on the request, okay, I just demonstrate you. Okay, if you want. So let's say I just visit any of the random website. You can say Tesla or AT&T or any of the different websites. You can just go to the Tesla, right? Here, okay, is the Tesla has been no, okay. So here Tesla is set it in the in scope one, right? So here, if I want, I can just click here, show only in scope. So it will just not show me the Tesla over there, right? I'm just allowing here to show all the requests. So it's gonna show me the Tesla also, right? So for Tesla, we can see there are multiple different hosts, right? But along with the Tesla, we are seeing here Google Tag Manager. I want to like remove this. I want to like I don't want this Google Tag Manager to like always come whenever I'm just going for Tesla, so that I just don't want to intercept this Google Tag Manager. So what I can do, I can add this Google Tag Manager over here in this export from the scope. So what it will do, it will just, I will just copy the link, copy the URL, and I will go to scope. I will paste here. Okay, I had copied all the URL. My mistake. I can just copy the URL. I can add it over there, so that next time whenever I will just yeah, I will add it here. So next time whenever I will just go or visit any of the websites, so whatsoever request belonging to this particular host, is particular domain, will be just you can say ignored, and it will not be like intercepted. Correct. That's is like all about sitemap. Okay, when we are moving ahead in the sitemap, also there is something given as issue definitions. So what the issue definition is, so here we can check all the different issue or definition of the issues, that is different vulnerabilities or issues that one Burpsuite defines. So if you want to learn more about any of the issues present over there, you can just click on it and you can just go through all the different details present over there, as well as the references also provided by the Burpsuite itself. Correct. Okay, so we had covered dashboard and target. Coming to the proxy, what the proxy means. So when talking about the proxy, every time the intercept was off while we are surfing, right? But what happened when I turn on my intercept? For example, I just turn on my intercept, right? And I just go back to the browser. For example, I will just refresh this website. When I refresh the website, it's just showing me loading and loading. It will not load the website. Why? Because here the intercept is on. So when intercept is on, it's gonna like intercept all the requests coming from that particular domain. So here you can see, okay, here you can see we are getting the request from Google Analytics. We can just send this Google Analytics. We have two options. Either we can send this Google Analytics to like do not intercept the request to this host, so that next time whenever any of the request will come from Google Analytics, we will not intercept it. I will just forward it, forward it, forward it. And when I forward all the requests, then I can see here the page has been loaded. Correct? Not only that, we can just go for any other website. Let's say we just go for google.com. Here you can see the request for google.com has been intercepted over here. So here I can just temper the request. I can just enter here anything like google.com/search or something, and I can just forward that, forward that, forward that, and here I will just see the request is going on. Forward, 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 forward. There are multiple requests of google.com is going on the behind. So when you're talking about when we just forward the request to /search, it has been redirected to web page. But the case I want to just make you all understand is what the intercept is doing here. So when I turn on the intercept, so you can consider it something like when we turn on the intercept, it's gonna be like in between your browser and internet. So any of the request or response coming from the internet will first come to the Burpsuite, correct? And here, if you just forward that request, then only that particular request will go to the browser. And when your browser try to connect to the server, if your browser want to send some request to the server, that request first go to the Burpsuite. And if Burpsuite will allow, if you forward over here, then only it will go there. So for example, I will just try to log in over here. So you can consider that I will just, okay, I just try to log in using my username admin and password as password. Okay, I just click on login and I just go to Burpsuite. I can see here a post request has been going to testfire.com with the directory name do login. Correct. Here you can see the parameter that is passing is UID, admin, and password as password. I can say right click. I can go to do intercept the response, and I will just forward it. When I then I selected the do intercept. So what that means, it's gonna intercept the response that is coming back from the server. So from the server, I am getting the response as 302 found. When I forward that again, it's sending a get request to login.jsp. I will just forward that also. And on the website, I can see login failed. We are sorry, but this username was not found on the system. Correct. I just intercepted that request. You can consider this just like for example, I am just passing my username as admin and password as admin. So here in this case, our username password is nothing but admin only. So if I click on the login in this intercept, if I just pass the request as it is, I will not tamper any of the request. Then I can check that here it's gonna move ahead and I'm just logged in with the admin user. Correct. We just go log out, forward, and yeah, I'm log out back, right? So what the intercept does, so when I click on the intercept, when the intercept will be on, it will be like acting as man in the middle. So it will be like middle between your browser and your web server. So all the request, all the communication coming between your browser and your web server will be intercepted, will be like intercepted at your Burpsuite. So in the Burpsuite, you have the access to like either you want to tamper the request or response. You can temper both. You can temper the request as well as you can temper the responses as well as, right? So for example, I will just try to admin and you can say admin. Okay. For example, I'm just passing here admin and password also as admin. Correct. I will just right click and do intercept. I want to do intercept the response. I can check the response I'm getting is 302 found. Why? Because I know that the password is okay. I just pass admin, I guess. Okay. I'm saying here that the 302 request, right? The password was right, and it has been redirecting me to another directory that is /bank/main.jsp. So either I can just temper the request, I can just redirect it back to login.php. I'm just redirecting the request to login.php. I can also right click again. I can go to do intercept and forward. Then I can see it is redirected to login.jsp. Here I'm getting the response at 404 not found because login.php was not over there. There was login.jsp, I guess. Correct. I just got an error occurred. Error was 404, right? Okay, we'll just do a refresh. I will just log out again. Cool. So we have seen like what the intercept actually does, right? Talking about HTTP history. So in HTTP history, all the history that is been going from the browser, like all the communication that has been happening between the browser and the server will be logged into your HTTP history. So you can see all the requests. So right now, okay, I will just, right now we have tried your login.jsp. We can click on the request. We can check what was the request and what was the response we are getting, right? For this particular request, we are getting a response like this. For this particular request, we got the response 302, and then we have been redirected to bank.jsp, correct? bank/main.jsp now. So in the history tab, we are just looking, we can see all the requests, as well as like what we can see is like number of the requests that is here. That is like you can say 1, 2, 249th request, 100th request, any of the request number count. Host is nothing but the host from which we are getting the request. Method is nothing but the method has been used for the particular request. URL is like the directory which has been used for after that the host. In the params we can see either the parameter is present over there or not. So you can see for this particular request there is no parameter present, but for this particular request you can see the parameter present was uid equals to admin and password equals to admin and button equals to login. So that particular parameter is present over there, right? In the edited is like either I had tempered that request or not, right? In status we can see the status code. What was the status code, like either it was 200, it was 302 and all. So in the length also we can we can see what is the length of the request we are getting. What was the type of the request, like it was html or what are the js, what are the extension over there, title, comments, tls, ip, that is the ip of the host. Here our host is testfire.net, right? So 65.61.127.117, it is nothing but the ip of testfire.net, right? In the cookies you can see here the cookies which has been associated with that particular request. So here in the response also you can verify that the particular cookie is present, right? Here the timing, you can see the timing at what particular time that particular request is sent or come, and the port that has been used for that. So that has been this all detail has been provided in the HTTP history. Talking about the WebSocket history. So what's the WebSocket is? So as we have just tried HTTP and HTTPS. So similarly, WebSocket uses different, you can say what that's called. It works on the different, uh, I don't know. Okay, it doesn't work on the HTTP and HTTPS. When we're talking about the WebSocket, it works on WS, right? Right. So if you want, Burpsuite also can intercept between the WebSocket requests, right? If I just try WebSocket online, so WebSocket actually works on the different protocols. That is a part of HTTP and HTTPS. It works upon WS protocol. All right. So here it is not loading because I had turned on the intercept. I will turn it off. Then we can check. Okay, we can go to this PySocket. PySocket is a website we are just using to just check test for this WebSocket, right? Okay, so WebSocket works on WS and WSS, right? So here you can see a particular WebSocket has been shown. I will just intercept on. I will try to connecting to this. Here we are getting the request. I just intercepted and pass it over forward. See, here you can see we can see the web sockets like which come from the client to the server. That is we are getting the request as unknown API key and all, right? Okay, I will just try to send a request naming hello hacker or something, and I will try to send it. I can see here that a request has been sent hello hacker to the server, right? I can go ahead like hi, how are you, and all. Okay, how are you? Tool. I can send. I can check here. Like yeah, some another request I'm send it. I can just send this to the repeater. So when we're talking about the repeater, we are going back to the repeater, like what actually the repeater was. But we can check here. Hi, Ashutosh. I will send this request to client. I can check that in this proxy history, you can check that to the client that request has been sent. Yeah, you can see error hi Ashutosh, right? I can send the request from the server. Okay, I will just reconnect. Okay, hi Ashutosh, how are you and all. So talking the main motto behind this is like Burpsuite is also capable to intercept between the WebSocket servers. It can talk to the WebSocket server. It can intercept between them. It can also work with that, right? Okay, I will just turn on the intercept. I can just go and check. It has been disconnected. I will just close it out. Okay, back to the point. We are talking on proxy tab. In the proxy tab, we have seen what the intercept was. So intercept, we have seen a few options like intercept on off. But there are some different options also available like forward, drop, action. So forward is nothing but whenever it intercept any of the requests. So for example, when I was login with admin, a particular request has been intercepted, right? So if you want this request to like forwarded to server, if you want this request to go to the server, you can click on forward. But if you don't want this particular request to go to the server, you can either go for drop. So when I will do drop, the particular request will be dropped, and here we can see the error, something like error request was dropped and all. You can just refresh here. When I will just okay, I will just tamper with the password, and when I click on the forward, then that particular request will be sent to the server and the response will come, right? Here, okay, for example, you can say here another request has been going, a get request to slash login.jsp. If I will intercept this particular request, okay, let it be. Here in the action tab is a button is also present over there. So what the action tab does is like when I click on the action tab, we have all the different action which can perform. We can also call the action tab by right clicking, right? So in the action tab, we have few options like do passive scan. So I talked about the passive scan is nothing but scanning on the basis of the data, on the basis of the details and the request we had already captured. Talking about the active scan is nothing but actively scanning all the new domains, all the new subdomains, as well as new directories, new links, or new URLs by crawling and auditing. Correct. There are a few other options like send to intruder. When I click on send to intruder, it's gonna send this particular request to intruder tab, right? When I click on send to repeater, it's gonna send this particular request to repeater, right? Part of that we have few other options like send to sequencer, comparer, decoder. What are these all? We are going to talk about this all also. So here, let's say I just send this particular to the request to repeater. But why like I just need to send this request to the repeater? So repeater is nothing but if you want any of the requests to repeat after and after. For example, I will just drop this request also. I will just refresh the page. Okay. For example, I just try to log in again. Okay, using any other random password, and I click on the login. Here, I don't know the password. Just consider I don't know the password. I want to brute force this password. I want to try random, different guesses over here. So every time I don't want to like, it's not like every time I have to go there and refresh the page and intercept over here and change the password and forward. No, I don't have to do that. What I can do, I just can simply send this particular request to repeater. So what repeater gonna do? In the repeater, we can send particular request 100 of times. We can send the request one, two, three. We can send them multiple times, right? So here we can see it's showing us the follow redirection. When I click on the follow redirection, it's gonna show me the login.jsp. Why? Because our password was wrong. It's gonna show the login.jsp again. Let it be. That's a different case. What we want to consider right now, what we want to understand right now is we are using repeater when we want to repeat some particular request more times, or you can say for n number of times, or if you want to test for particular request. So in this case, if I want to test for particular request, I want to like temper the request and want to see what it gonna show there. So I can check here. So for example, get login.jsp. I will just send request over here. I can see what the response is going there, right? Or else you can say I will just go there. I will for the request. Okay. If in the top I will search for anything, like I will search for myself, like Ashutosh. Okay, I will search for myself. I'm just querying for Ashutosh. I will just send this particular request to repeater, and I can see what the response is coming for the Ashutosh. So in the response tab also, we have been like provided the few options, like we can see in the pretty, in raw, hex, and render. So what that mean? In the pretty, it's gonna show us the response in proper formatted version. In raw, it's gonna show the response in a raw, like as it is, it's been sent it from the server. In the hex, that is the hexadecimal format. In the render, it's gonna show us how the particular response gonna look like. So when I will just forward the particular request from proxy itself, I will turn on the proxy, right? So we can check that yeah, particular request was Ashutosh, and the response we are getting was no result found for the word Ashutosh, correct? So we can use repeater for such stuff, like we can use it for passing all the requests like this. A part of this, what we can do, uh, what else we can do over here in the repeater? We can temper the request, like I want to temper Ashutosh to admin. I want to look for the admins. I can check if any of the stuff is like any of the thing can be possible using admin also. All right. All right. In the intercept, it's in intercept or where I have to just look again. Okay, in the proxy tab also there is an option called as proxy settings. So what's present over there in the proxy settings? When we click on the proxy setting, they can see here this. So this is one of the most important stuff while talking about the Burpsuite. So right now we are just using default browser provided by the provided by Burpsuite, right? So we don't even we don't even have to consider for like customizing or setting up the browser for using Burpsuite. But if you want to use any of your own browser, like a part of this default browser, if you want to use Burpsuite to intercept the traffic from any of your browser, like Firefox, Safari, or Chrome, or any other, so for that, what you have to do, right? What you have to do for that, you can just go on that particular browser. For example, I want to intercept all the requests from this Firefox also. All right. I will just open another Firefox. Uh, I will not do here. Okay, I will just open this. Okay. So what I want is like whatsoever website I'm visiting over here. For example, I'm going on google.com or any other other website. I want that particular request from that particular browse particular domain should be intercepted in Burpsuite also, right? So how can I do that? How can I achieve this? So what I have to do for in this case, I have to first generate a CA certificate, right? When I generate a CA certificate, okay, okay, I can generate CA certificate manually from here. So it's gonna generate a CA certificate and gonna save it in my files. A part of that, in the proxy, we can see here it's showing us that Burpsuite is listening on the port 8080 of my local machine, that is 127.0.0.1, right? So what I have to do, I have to go into the browser, Firefox. I will have to go into the settings. In the settings, I have to search for proxy, right? When I go to the proxy, I have to add my proxy manually. What proxy I have to add? I will just we can check here. The proxy we have to add is 127.0.0.1 and the port is 8080. So our proxy will be 127.0.0.1 and our port gonna be 8080. Okay, port gonna we have to specify the port over there. Port gonna be 8080, right? And we want this for HTTPS also, and we can press OK. Okay, fine. So now if I just try to visit on google.com, it is not opening. Software is preventing Firefox from something, something, something. It's showing me the error of CA, that is software is it is like it can't open the particular website. And also in the Burpsuite also, if I just turn on the intercept, I will try to refresh the page. I can't see another request. So what went wrong? Here we have set up the proxy, but we haven't set up the CA certificate. So for that, we have to also set up CA certificate. So another option for like downloading the CA certificate is just visit on the website. After all right. Hello. Okay. I guess my screen was okay. Now it is visible, right? Cool. So we are talking about adding on. Okay, my screen is visible. Correct. Okay.
Screen sharing is stopped.
Is it visible now?
Now it is. Now it is.
Okay, understood. Like I was just trying to configure from the Firefox itself. Okay. So in
Yeah.
Firefox, I'm on the Zoom, so I can configure it now.
No,
Okay, just to
now
give
the
you
Firefox is visible.
correct. I can try for some different browser if present in this. Like I can opt for Chromium. No, it's not. Okay. What I was trying to say is like you have to go to the setting, correct? So I will just check here if proxy has been defined. If it is not, okay, no. Then we can continue. That's why I've chosen another profile. So it won't interest. Cool. Back to the scene. What we have done till now, we have set up the proxy, right? We have set up the proxy. Just verify if it's there. Yeah, we have set up the proxy with the port 8080. Correct? Correct. Okay. I will just turn off this Chromium also. Okay. Pull it here. Correct. We have set up the proxy with the listener over 8080 port and 127, that is my local host, correct? And we have to add the CA certificate also. So for that, we can visit on the website name Burpsuite. If intercept is over there, I guess I can turn off the on. So yeah, just refresh. Oh, okay, I have the spelling mistake over here. That is Burpsuite. Okay, when you visit the website Burpsuite, you can see the option for downloading a CA certificate. I hope it's visible, right? When you visit the website Burpsuite, you will see the option for downloading a CA certificate. You can just download simply CA certificate by clicking over there. And after that, you have to add your CA certificate. You can search for certificates and you have to import your certificate you have downloaded just now. And why we need CA certificate is like, we whenever we try to visit any of the HTTPS websites, talking about HTTPS, that is secured by SSL certificate, correct? So when any other website is secured by SSL certificate, we can't just intercept that website directly. If you want to intercept that website, you have to provide any of the CA certificate. So when you're talking about CA certificate, that is your authority, certificate authority. So we are allowing this CA, the CA of Burpsuite, the authority of Burpsuite. We are allowing this to trust. We are just telling our browser to like trust this CA to identify all the website as well as email user. If you want to like also test for the email user also, right? So I want to test for website and email user also, and okay. And okay, now if I want to if I will try to visit on any of the websites, and I can check in the history, that particular history of that website is present over there. Either I can just turn on the intercept just to check and confirm that yeah, it is working or not. So when I will do refresh, I can check here the request has been intercepted. from google.com, right? So we have configured this particular Firefox for using Burpsuite. Just a quick recap what we did. We have just set up the proxy first. We have set up the proxy. The shortcut for finding proxy is XY. We have set up the proxy to the localhost 127.0.0.1. That is our localhost or on machine only. And the port is 8080, right? They can add another port if you want. You can add here another listener port. That is, you can start the listener on any of different port if you want to. But by default, Burpsuite works on 8080, correct? After setting up the proxy, we have configured the CA certificate. In certificates, what we have did, we have added a new, we have imported our Burpsuite CA certificate and added over here, right? After doing this, we can like easily intercept all the requests passing through this web browser to the web servers, where Burpsuite will be our middleman, like our man in the middle, right? Okay. So we have configured the proxy listeners. We had consider what it is. Next setting present is like request interception rule. So on what basis Burpsuite should intercept the request? So here we have defined that Burpsuite should intercept the request on the basis of all the requests that does not match GIF, JPG, PNG, CSS, JS, and all. So here I'm not intercepting any of the requests which contains CSS and all. So if you want, you can just go to the history and you can check. You haven't like intercepted any of the requests that contains CSS and all, right? And even also from the site in this target also in the filter tab, you can check we have filtered the CSS, right? But we haven't intercepted that over here. Why? Because in proxy setting we have turned that off. If I will just disable this, like I will allow this, or rather I will just edit this option to like does not match from matches. So what it will do, it will also intercept all the requests which contain any of the JPG, PNG images or any of the CSS file or something. So like it totally dependent upon your use case, or like what is your use case, what are the type of request you want to intercept and or not, right? Talking about this, the response interception rule. So what the response interception rule is, like here we have defined that it should intercept all the response that matches text, that consists of text only, part of binaries or any other word that should at least contain the text. Doesn't matter of any of the extension. It can be CSS, it can be HTML, it can be JS, it can be JSON, right? But it should contain text. So when we talk about the response, mostly the response consists of text only, because along with text, when we talk about the images has been transmitted in base 64, correct? So most of the response are always in the txt only. So this particular condition specifies like a kind of file guard, like it's gonna intercept all kind of responses. Okay. We can also add your custom response if you want to, like if you want to only intercept the response which contains a particular rejects a particular word. If you want to, then you can specify over here, like you can hear the type here the condition, like if it matches admin, so it's gonna only intercept the response which when it matches admin, or otherwise it will not intercept any of the response, right? Similarly goes for WebSocket interception rule. So for WebSocket also, you can specify either if you want to intercept the request between client and server, or either from server to client, you can specify here. Talking about this like response modification rule. So what this means is like this particular options provided over here is kind of add-on for you. Like whenever you are doing bug hunting, right? And I want to like show unhide the hidden forms. So what it means is like most of the time when we are like bug hunting, like we are hunting on the websites, or we are penetration testing, trying to test the web domains, websites, right? So most of the times what happens is like most of fields that are hidden, and if you want to show that field, if you want to like make that field visible, you can check over here. So right now you can see when I check on this unhide hidden forms, So you can see on the google.com here something is presented like HP or this is something. So this is nothing but your hidden form. I can just zoom it if you want to so that it can be visible to all. I guess it is right. So you can see here HP and minus SUY or something which is written over here, some queries. So it is nothing but the hidden form that has been hidden. I can just uncheck over it and I can refresh and it will going to like disappear. Correct. I can just try all the different checks over here. Like I can enable, another option is like enable disabled form field. So what it means, like there are various scenarios where particular field of the form, like form doesn't allow you to edit the username or you can say edit the password. It don't allow you, right? So Burpsuite, by enabling this particular check, you are allowing Burpsuite to like enable that particular field if it is vulnerable or if any misconfiguration present over there, right? Apart of that, there's another one is like remove input field length limit. What it means is like let's say on the login page. Okay, so for this or same website we can visit, that is fire test, right? If I'm not wrong, that is fire test only. So we can visit over the same website, testfire.net. And over here, suppose on the login field, if the developer has defined that the username should consist only of 10 letters. Okay, so after entering 10 letters, that is password, administrator and something, it won't allow me to like add another letters over there. So we can by enabling this check, we are like we are forcing that particular website to like add another fields, another character in that field. So this can be used to like finding the bugs like buffer overflow and all, right? Talking about another, that is remove JavaScript from validation. So that is removing the validation in the various forms that present. When you're talking about forms, form can be of any type. That can be a contact form, that can be of the login form and all, right? So when we enable this check, so it will remove the validations present over there, the JavaScript validation present over there. So for example, for accesses, if I want to try the JavaScript, for example, for accesses over here, I want to try the JavaScript name like script and alert one, alert one, and script close. So if in this input field, if there is some JavaScript parameter, JavaScript validation is present over there, so it will like sanitize this particular script and it won't execute it, right? But when I present go, I can see the pop-up as one. So here the accesses has been there and the JavaScript which I have written over here has been executed, right? Why it is so? Because the validation is not present over there. But if in the case if validation is over there, right, and if you want to just remove the validation, if it can be using some misconfiguration, so it will be removed by Burpsuite itself. You can remove all the JavaScript if you want to. So if I will just enable this, remove all the JavaScript, and I will just refresh this page. So it's gonna refresh all the JavaScript present over there. Correct? Okay, not that only. Correct. Talking about another option like remove objects, convert HTTPS to HTTP. So it's gonna force the website to like downgrade from HTTPS to HTTP, right? We can remove the secure flag from cookies. So like in cookies also the secure flag has been present so that it can't be tampered, but it can be possible to like remove that secure flag so we can easily play with the cookies also, right? So if I will just enable all of the options and I will try to visit any of the website like this google.com, or you can say Ultra, this testfire one. So here we can make sure we can just check out like, yeah, this all fields that's present, this all checks present over there, it's working, right? You can see here hidden field HP, hidden field this one, hidden field ISFL SIG. So why it is showing here is like I have checked this all options. So you can use this option according to your case scenario, like according to the scenario you're working upon, right? Below that, there's an option named as match and replace rule. So what this match and replace means? So here you can pass here the rejects that whenever in the request or response, if any of the string matches or satisfies the condition, it's gonna replace it. For example, we can take the example of, okay, I will just take the example of this only. Okay, in the search, if I am searching for Ashutosh, I am press enter, I'm getting the response, no result found for query Ashutosh, correct? For example, I will just add here that if any of the request header matches Ashutosh, okay, it should replace it with script alert one, or you can say hacker and script close. Okay, so what I'm just defining here is like in the request header, I can just check for request header body or anywhere, right? So if in the request header, if Ashutosh is present over there, so I'm going to replace that with this JavaScript payload, that is script alert, right? After pressing OK, okay, we can, what we can do, we can just go to the Burpsuite, turn on the intercept, we can go to the browser, and here I will search for Ashutosh again, and I will just press enter, go. See, I have just searched for the Ashutosh, and you can see that the Ashutosh has been already replaced with the script payload, right? If I will just forward it, you can see here, you can see here the response. Okay, I'll just refresh it, intercept off. We are not getting any other response for the script Ashutosh, so it's gonna give us an error. If you see on the, if you just see the history, like what's going on over there, you can check. We just go on the top testfire.net. When the query Ashutosh was there, it was Ashutosh was replaced with the script, right? So it's showing us bad request. Okay, you can use the decoders. Like here, what was happening is like when I'm passing the script payload, it is going to like validation is going to be like it's gonna show us like Ashutosh the particular script was not found. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to edit this script payload, and I'm going to encode that payload into URL because I'm passing the URL, right? So I have to first encode in the URL format. So why is it so? So that it can be compatible with the, like you can say, with the rules of URL. Like whenever I am passing, like for example, I'm just passing the request in the URL header, right? So it should be in the format of URL only. So I can also encode it into the base 64 if you want. You can encode it in the MD5 and all. But right now I'm just encoding into URL. So it is like you can say a universal statement. If you just ever try for XSS right now, you should know that whenever you are trying to perform XSS, you should also always like send the query or send the payload by encrypting it. So right now I am just passing here, whenever what I did, I just passed here whenever the string matches with the word keyword Ashutosh, it's gonna replace it with the this particular payload. Let's go again, and I will just check in the proxy if my intercept is on. It is off, right? I will go back. I will search for the Ashutosh again, and here I'm getting the response as hacker. So how is happen is like I whenever it's get see, well, how it's happen, we can just turn on the intercept and check when I'm passing any of the other stuff, like I'm passing here system, for example. You can check that here the query equals to system is going on, right? I just forward here, and we can see the no response for system. But the moment I'm passing here Ashutosh, it's gonna show me the Ashutosh has been replaced with this particular payload. And you're gonna see the pop-up, right? Either you can opt for some different one, like I can opt for hacker images. I will turn off. We can use some different payloads if you want to. So for example, we are going to use another payload instead of that. I just copied the payload of this. I just copied the link of this URL, and what I'm going to do, sorry, whenever I'm passing the request, I will just send it to repeater. You can see when this going on, it's gonna render like this. So here we can replace this. We are going to replace this with the image src equals to. So I'm just using the image track. So here, if you see like, okay, here if you see, you can also like try to always try to avoid the big URLs while performing test. So how you can do that? You can go for bit.ly or some other URL shortener. You can use them, right? I'm just using bit.ly to like shorten the URL of that image so that I can pass that particular URL into the into payload. I just shorten it over here, copied. I will just go back. Okay, I'm passing here this URL and script close. I will encode this again, right? Because as I am passing into the URL, I need to encode this again. Is encode as URL. And here is the output. I will copy it out. And in the proxy tab, I'm gonna replace this all with particular this one. So we can check if it's working or not. Intercept off. Okay, it's not loading the image. Okay, maybe some issue. We can open to the new tab. Copy image link. Let me just check if image link is working or not. It's working, correct? Okay. After copying the image link, we are going to shorten that image link. And I will copy it out. Then we'll go to decoder. And in the source, I'm gonna replace the URL with the new URL. And here we got the new payload, right? Now just go back. We'll just go back here. I will go to proxy setting and I will just edit it. In the payload, I'm gonna replace the new payload. Okay, fine. Cool. So now if I will search here Ashutosh, let's see what happens. It's gonna show me the image. Either if I will search for any of the other different stuff, like I will search for password, or you can say system or Acer, any of the different keyword, it is not going to do any of the stuff. But the moment I'm searching for Ashutosh, right, it's gonna show me this image. How it is happening? So it is happening because in the proxy setting, in match and replace rule, we have set here the matches Ashutosh. We're going to replace it with this particular payload, right? So it's gonna work like this. You can use in the various different. You can use it according to your different case scenarios. Like every time in the URL, if you found something like username equals to admin, like for example in the forward URL, if you found username equal to admin, you want to replace that admin with your particular username or your particular email address, so that you can search for the bugs like IDOR or and some and all, right? So that also depend on your use case. From TLS pass through, you can add up the TLS and all. In the proxy history login, you can define here either you want to log the history of the proxy or not. In the default proxy, okay, the default proxy interception state. So whenever you launch the Burpsuite newly, the intercept option should be default turned off, right? Why? Because you have mentioned over here to like disable the interception every time the we start the Burpsuite, right? We restart the Burpsuite. In the miscellaneous, you can add you can see more the features like using HTTP 1.0, set the response header to connection close and all. So that is nothing but the some add-on one. But the major setting which we use in the proxy is this much only, like the match displays, response modification, web sockets, response interceptions, as well as request interception, right? Okay. So with this, we can say that we have covered the proxy also. Moving ahead with repeater and intruder. So repeater, when talking about the repeater, just a quick recap. The repeater is nothing but we use repeater to like repeat all the request. If you want to repeat the request multiple times in order to test it, you can use repeater. Correct. If I will just send the particular request like this, I can send the response. I can also change the request. I can modify the request. I can modify the content over here. Let's say, for example, what happens if I will just modify this particular request as you can say king, for example, and I will send it. We can send the out. We can look out for the output, like how it will behave when we will temper the particular request. So we used repeater for that, and also in repeater we can also go for follow redirection and all, right? In repeater settings, you can check for settings defined over here. Like we can go for process cookies in redirection if you want to pass the cookies while redirection happening and all. If you want to allow redirection every time, or rather you can go for it gonna ask you. So for example, in the case of this login API, if you remember in the login API, we are passing the parameter as admin and particular password, right? When we send this API, on the response we are getting the option for follow redirection. So here it gonna we can see the response as 302 found. So if it's that 302 found, so it's gonna redirect our website, redirect not website, it's gonna redirect us to some different directory. So if I will follow the redirection, I can see it is redirecting us to login.jsp. Correct. So that's the option for here, like follow direction. I can opt here for always or in scope or on site one, right? That's about the repeater. Talking about intruder. Okay. uh Nikhil sir. Nikhil sir. Hello. Okay, let it. Talking about the intruder, why we use intruder and all, right? So
Yes,
for example,
Ashutosh sir. Sorry, like my microphone was I was unable to.
okay,
Yeah.
I just want to
Good.
ask you, like, it's already 7:52. So should I
Uh-huh.
continue with this intruder, collaborators, you can say that like a lot of
Uh,
left out.
yeah. So it's like how much time? Like you can continue for more 15 minutes. That's not a problem. So we can
Okay,
go ahead for
fine.
that so that we can complete the context of this conversation. Okay.
Fine, fine, fine.
Yeah. Yeah. For
That
more
works.
15 minutes we can. Yeah.
Okay. So talking about the intruder, what the intruder does. So let's say, for example, if you want to, okay, we have seen the repeater for sending multiple requests. So let consider the case if you want to like brute force for the password, you don't know the password, right? So for that also, you are not going to like every time going to enter the password like password one and send the request, then password two send request or something, right? So for that, we have the option of intruder. So what we do in the intruder, so let's say I will just send this request to intruder and I can go there. I can check here. We are seeing here the request provided to us, right? In the top, we can see the attack types. So basically we are given by four attack types. So for now, just consider as a sniper. And here in the bottom, I'm gonna define here this password as Ashu, right? So like I want to test or brute force, or I want to like pass my word list over here in the place of Ashu. So I just select the Ashu over here. In the top you can see the payloads. When I go to the payload, you can see a few options, right? The first option, you can see the payload set. The payload set for the first is like the first we have selected over here, we have selected here only Ashu, so it's going to show us only one, right? I want to pass a simple list. I have the multiple option. So what happens in the simple list? We can paste a long list. Like for example, we can go search for the list of passwords online also. Like you can go to checklist on GitHub. So checklist is one of the big password list you present over there, password word list, which you can use, right? Okay. A part of checklist, the Burpsuite itself provide different passwords. Like you can go here, you can see add from the list. You can add passwords like username. So while I'm passing the username, I can see here the total. I can see here numbers of username has been added over there, right? Or else I can go for, you can say passwords. All right. So what actually Intruder does? So like in the Intruder, if I'm just trying for sniper one, right? For the sniper, I have passes here few of the payloads. Okay. And when the moment I will start the attack, you can see here it going what trying to do. It's trying to replace the particular position. Like here I define the position as Ashu, right? So it's gonna try to replace this Ashu with all the payload I have mentioned over here, with all the word list I have mentioned over there, and we can see the response like how it's showing over there. Because we can filter the response on the basis of length, on the basis of request, on the basis of payloads. Correct? Correct. I will just stop it out. Like we don't want such. Okay. Means here we can also like copy and paste few of the payloads if you want to, or either you can add up manually. So for example, I will try to add manually. I will try to add paste password. I will try to add system. I will try to add administrator, as well as I will also add here the actual password, that is our admin, right? Apart of that, we can add multiple different things. Doesn't matter. So here we have added only 9 payloads. And once I will start the attack, you can see we got the response for all. But here if you notice something in the length, you can see the response for all is 145, 145, 145, except the one which is 260. And the payload for 260 is admin, which is our correct password. So for the 261, you can go and check the response over there, right? Okay, so you can see like it is the correct password. And like it is a one of the method like to identify either the payload you are using is correct or not. You can just go check on the basis of the length of the request you have sent it. Like if the length is the length of a normal failed payload is mostly same, but the length of correct one is mostly like some more like it in this case you can see here is 145 and 260. So in most of the cases gonna be like different from others. So you can easily check for the like different correct passwords out of this word list, right? Here in payload type, you have seen part of simple list, there are few different options available, right? So for example, I will go for, you can say for now, we can go for like runtime file. So what the runtime file actually is. So when you're talking about the runtime file, it's gonna run the payload from a large number of lists. So most of you may know about rocky.txt, which can, or you can say most of different other payloads, password list also, which contains of password or like thousands, and you can say lakhs and crores of password, maybe of 2 GB 10 GB of passwords, right? So if you want to run that number of password over here in from Burpsuite, so it required a lot of CPUs and all. So not okay if you like try to like run that number of password by pasting over here. So instead of that, you can use the runtime file where you can just select your passwords from there, or either you can just pass your or you can just try your different scripts. So for example, if you have Python scripts, okay, if you run that Python script, it is generating a large number of password, right? So Burpsuite, what it's gonna do, it's gonna select all the lines of password printing from the Python script and use them as a payload, right? That's what the runtime file is. Right now I don't have any of the Python file or script, or so like yeah, we can move with next one, that is custom iteration. So what the custom iteration is, so for example what I'm doing, and we can add a example of like you can say Ashutosh, right? Okay, I've added the other Ashutosh. Clear all. Cool. In the custom iterator, we can just iterate, or you can just select from the number of different passwords. So here what we do, if I just select a number of different lists, Like here I have selected like this one, passwords, right? I will just clear all. I will select a list of passwords, or you can do short words, right? I can define here the separators like comma or something, right? So it gonna separate all the passwords on the basis of this comma and the separator in the response request when I'm sending over there. Okay, when talking about the custom iterator, there is something called as character substitution also. So character substitution is something interesting. Like for example, you can consider here, like take the example as Vinayak. Okay, our password is Vinayak, right? There is a case like when the if you want to brute force the password, most of the time user use what they use, instead of using a, they can try at the rate, right? Instead of using b, not b, instead of using I, they can try exclamation, right? That can be possible. Like what are the different substitution they can use, right? Instead of using k, they can use hashtag, or instead of using s, okay, instead of using k, they can use hashtag. Instead of using as, they can use dollar. So these are nothing but some of the substitution which we use, like in order to make our password more strong, right? But as a hacker, like if someone is smart enough, they can use this type of attacks like character substitution. So what it gonna do, you can check here. I have passed here only one payload, that is Vinayak. And if you see here the payload that is been using, first just try the same payload Vinayak, then it replace I with exclamation, then it replace a with at the rate, then it replace Vinayak, then it replace exclamation with I, and like it gonna try all the permutation and combinations of this all characters by substituting them over there, and gonna try them all over there, right? So this is just an example we can use at the last at the large scale. Like if you want to brute force for someone's password, someone's passwords, like for bypassing admin panel or something. So if someone is smart enough, he can just try to brute force your password. So in case if any of you are using your password, simple password like this also, be aware, like if someone is smart enough, he can easily do it, right? Talking about case modification is nothing but changing the cases in uppercase, lowercase, and all. So if I just pass here Ashutosh, so it's gonna try different cases, like it's gonna try capital A Ashutosh and all, right? So case modification is nothing but that. Talking about recursive grep. So what the recursive grep is? So recursive grep is nothing but whenever you are passing the request, right? It gonna grab all the content. Like it's just similar to that grabs we have seen on the proxy type, where we are just grabbing all the stuff on the basis of regex, right? So here it's gonna grab the content on the basis of the payload you are passing over here. Like here as mentioned, this payload type let you extract each payload from the response of previous request in the attack. It is useful in some situation when you need to work recursively to extract useful data or deliver an exploit. So you can consider it in the manner, like for example, if you have used your payload, you can say script alert, okay, or some of the SQL payload, and you want to like grab that particular payload also from the response, or you can say previous request to the response or next request response, you can grab that also from this, right? You can grab your payload, like either my payload is present on the response or not. You can use it like in order to check either the injection is possible or not, right? Talking about another, that is illegal Unicode. So in illegal Unicode, you can play with the Unicodes. Like if you want to if you want to play with the Unicodes, like in the when talking about the hexadecimals, you want to change the codes, Unicodes over there. Like for example, for the 2 bytes, like all right, if you want to like change the Unicodes, you want to modify it, then you're going to use for this illegal Unicodes. In character blocks, you can define your blocks, like how your character blocks going to be. For example, if I am just passing here, okay, it's not like this. It's payload processing is something different. We are talking about it here, right? The character block is like this payload type generates the payload based on the block of specified character or the string. It can be useful detecting buffer overflow and exploiting some logic flow. So it's gonna add a large number of blocks over there. So for example, I will just start the attack. You can see here 100 of A to 300 times A, right? Here in the password, you can see 300 times of A. So here what it's gonna try, it's going to try the letter A. Here the best thing I have mentioned A, right? So it's gonna try the A thousand of times. So here I have mentioned 100. So instead of 100, we have to try from 1 to 1000. So it's gonna try A, then double A, then triple A, then the 4 times A, 5 times A, so that we can exploit the vulnerabilities like buffer overflow, right? Some logics flow, some input field, so that for example, if there is some restriction of the input, like you can only enter 15 letter digits, right? And if you, in that input field, if you find if you enter 1000 letter word, so how are you gonna respond? So if you can check for different vulnerabilities with this, you can opt for this number. There is another type of payload present over there. So when I'm talking about the numbers, you can for example, if you are trying to brute force for, you can say, OTP bypass. If you're trying for the OTP bypass or something like that, you can opt for this payload type like number, where you can define what's your what kind of number you want to generate. So for example, I want to generate from 0 to 999, right? And I want to select all, I want to try all the combination that can be possible. And the minimum digit for you can say for the OTP is nothing but 4, and the maximum is also 4, or you can say 5 or 6 something, right? So you can try like this. Right now we can just check for 2. I will just try for 2 maximum and minimum, and I will just make it 99. So you can check here, the payload count is 100, and the minimum digit will be 2 and maximum will be 2. So you're gonna try like 00, 01, 02, 03 kind of that until it will reach 99. So when I will just start the attack, you can check here, it is trying all the different type of payloads, right? You can use this for OTP bypass or some different position where numbers are required. You can opt for dates. So for example, if you are looking for some IDOR or something where the response has been like shown on the basis of dates, and you don't want to enter the date after manually, you can opt for here. Here you can define you want to enter the date from when to when, and it's gonna do this for you, right? It's like for example, I have just entered here date from 2022 to 2023. That is 1 year. You can see here it is printing all the dates. That is 336 count, correct? Another payload type, that is brute forcer. In brute forcer, you can define here your strings, like the what talking about the brute forcer, na? So it's gonna try all the different combination that can be possible from the content I've written over here. So let's say I've written here some special character also, right? And your password is nothing but from 6 digit to, you can say, 8 digit, right? So it's a lot, right? Okay. From minimum length we can try as 4, and maximum length we can try as 5. So here you can check when we're talking about minimum 4 and maximum 5, it will generate almost 9 crore 25 lakh 37,640 combination out of this string, that is A to Z and 0 to 9 and 3 special characters, right? So you can use brute forcer if you have a lot of CPU, but obviously it's gonna require a lot of time also. And there is something called as null payload. When we're talking about null payload now, it's nothing but it's gonna generate the response as it is, like it's not gonna inject any of the payload over there. So you can consider this in the scenarios like if you're in the office, right, and you want to like your system to be turned off or something, then you can generate like 15 null payloads I want to generate. So it will generate a null payload, like it will not enter any of the payload over there, and will just send the request back to back, so that it can show that yeah, you are doing something, you are sending the ping request on something, right? Or rather you can go for indefinitely, then it will just send multiple null requests to the server. Like it will not temper the any of the request, you're gonna send the same request multiple times, right? That is not nothing but your null payloads. Talking about character fobbers and bit flippers. Character fobbers is nothing but same like this payload operate on a string input and modifies the value of character position in turns. So for example, I will just okay, base value of payload position. I will just start it. So here you can see as my actual payload over there was Ashu, right? Actual place over there was Ashu. But when I was trying this character for, it is just changing this character like all the possible combination of the character that can be Ashu, BSHU, ATHU, AISU, ASHV and all. Like it gonna add one more or one back. So for A, after the A there is B, right? So it tried BSHU. For S, after S there is T. So it tries TSHU. For H, after H there is I. Then it tries I, right? So it's nothing but it's just trying to fob the it trying to attempt all the different requests like by increasing your character by one count, correct? Talking about bit flipper is nothing but when you're talking about the hexadecimal, when you are getting the response the hexadecimal and all, you can change the bits from a value to another. Same, you can go for username generator. Here you can enter any of the username, and this payload will let you configure a list of username and email addresses. So for example, my name is Ashutosh Upadhyay. So maybe possible my username can be Upadhyay Ashutosh or Ashutosh Upadhyay, right? There can be a different possibilities. So I can add, for example, I'm just adding here Ashutosh and I'm also adding here Upadhyay. So what it gonna generate is like it gonna generate what can be the possibility of my usernames. It can be Ashutosh Upadhyay, then Ashu Upadhyay and all. So it's gonna try all the different combination permutation that can be possible. So for this two different name also, it's gonna try 100 approximate 100 payloads, right? So in the username generator is one of the cool stuff. Now back to the attack types. When we're talking about attack types, we have seen sniper, right? So what the sniper does is like it's gonna change only one or two parameters. So instead of here, if I will just try admin and Ashu, like here, if I'm trying username as well as password, both, right? And then also I can only like, for example, there I have selected two options, right? And here, what I'm doing, I'm just doing simple list, list of what? List of usernames or passwords, right? Here I can only set one payload. So if I will just start the attack now, you can see in the response only username is changing, password is not changing over there, right? So when we're talking on the sniper now, the sniper attack is what it does. It will change your any one of your input, one of your selections, like either username or other password kind of, right? But the another type that is bitter ram. What the bitter ram does? So when we're talking about the bitter ram now, it is a single set of payloads for iterations. So for example, we have set here two different locations. First one is admin, second one is password, right? So in the payload, we can set here for admin and password. If I start the attack, you can see system has been used both. Administrator name is used in the both position for username as well as for passwords, right? So when we're talking about when we are talking about this like bitter ram, what it's going to do, it's gonna try all the combination of a payload on the both position, on the position of username as well as on the position of password, right? But the pitchfork, what the pitchfork does, when you're talking about the pitchfork now, so it's gonna give us two different combination. Either you can define a separate list for username and separate list for password. So how it works? So let's say I have here defined two different locations, location 1 and location 2, right? So here I can define the payload for location 1, that is this much. And for location 2 also, I can define, for example, Ashutosh and then admin, then something, right? I have defined only 3. So here we have Ashutosh and 3. But when I will just start the attack, you can see it only going to try 3 different combinations. Why? Because when we are talking about the pitchfork now, so it's gonna check for both. Like for example, for here you can see the first payload is password now. So the for password here from payload set 1, it's gonna attempt one from payload set 2, right? So for Ashutosh, it's gonna try password. For system, it will try admin. and for this administrator, it will try this something like this, right? But after this, for admin, there is no option available in the password, so it won't try that, right? So for each fork, you have to like give the combinations, or you can say given the pairs of username and password. But what if I want to check for individually, like for each of username? For example, I have provided that 10 different password, right? So for each username, I want 10 different password. For another username, I want 10 different password. I want to try in this manner. So I can use this cluster bomb. So what cluster bomb gonna do? So for example, here I am adding admin and something anything, right? I'm just adding this 5, and pass in second I am adding only 3. So if I will just try this attack now, so it's gonna try every permutation, every combinations, right? For admin, for example, from the username, if it selected this admin, so for admin it gonna try this all password. After that, if it selected this something second one, so for that it's gonna try this all password. So that what our cluster bomb is. So when we are using cluster bomb, it is like it's gonna try all the different combinations. And here also you can see that we have found it our password, like here when it tries admin and an admin, like admin username and password both, then we got the length as 260, and that is the correct username and correct password. So that's all about our intruder one. So, and a part of that also, in intruder, you can add in the resource pool, you can add up your threads, like you can configure like how your request should be done, because you are sending multiple requests at the same time, right? So you can configure like how your request should go. It the delay that should be there between two consecutive requests, so that it won't be like blocked by the server, or like it won't affect the server at the large scale, right? So you can define here that between the two different requests, there should be some delay, or at the same instant of time that can be at max how much request can be sent, right? So you can define that from the resource pool. Talking about the settings is nothing but same. Here also you are getting few of the options, like you can save the tag, you can check for the request headers, you can check for the handling, error handling, like how much handle request, how much handle it can stop or it should retry for each request. For example, I tried for some request and I got error, so how much retry I should done, you can define over here. Talking about the attack results, you can store the results in the what type of format you want to store the results. You want to store full payload or not, you want to store the request response or not, you can define over here. In the graph matches, you can define the matches, like if any of the syntax or keyword defined over here matches to like their response, then that should be like flagged out, or that should be highlighted. So to highlight such, you can also use this feature of graph matches also. Talking about graph extract, so when someone graph extract, it is also useful, like if you want to extract information from the responses. If you are let's hoping for some administrator or some particular keyword in the response itself, so you can use this graph extract, so that it gonna extract all the, it gonna filter out all of the responses in which particular keyword is present over there, right? You can also check for the graph payloads. So what it's gonna do, it's gonna flag
Okay, there is some issue with sir's account. Just a minute. We are connecting him back.
I guess there was some connectivity issue.
No problem, sir.
Yeah, fine. We're talking about the settings of Intruder. So you can just go through all about that. So we have covered proxy, intruder, and repeaters. Just a quick overview about all other tags. So talk about the collaborators. So collaborator is something which we can use for like different use cases. For example, if you want to, for example, if you want to check whether your payload is executed over there or not, so you can use Burp Collaborator over there. So for example, I can just go, okay, I just get the payload over here. I copied that payload and I just passed that payload over here in the and enter. And if I will just pull here, yeah,
Ashutosh sir, we are again not able to hear you.
yeah, I'm just getting mute. Okay, fine. So what happened over here is like from the Burp Collaborator, when I generated when I generated a link, I just pasted that link in an URL, right? And when I pull it down, I can see that where this particular URL has been hit, right? So from this manner, like why it's been used is like you can generate such URLs, you can pass such URLs, such links in the payload section, and you can check either this particular URL has been hit or executed, or either the server is trying to connect the URL or not. Or if anytime the server tries to connect that URL, then you can get the internal IP of that server, right? So right now here it's showing me the internal IP. It's showing me the IP of my PC right now. All right, in Collaborator, the source IP address as well as the DNS over there and all, right? Instead of this, I guess this collaborator is only available to community to this professional version. So for the users on the community version, you can use various different open source ones, like you can use this canary token one, right? You can use canary tokens for that. Talking about the sequencer, sequencer is nothing but for example, if you want to like if you want to perform particular task in a particular manner, like after this the request should go to that, should go to that, then you can go for the sequencer. Like for sequencer, you can manually load here the requests, or else like also sequencer has like one of the useful feature is like what is there is, for example, we use sequencer for identifying the randomness in the website. So when I'm talking about the randomness, so if let's say your website is generating CSRF token or any of the unique token after and after, and you want to like just analyze like what's the common between all the different tokens, right? So let's say you have sent hundreds of requests, and hundreds of requests you have get the hundred of different unique codes. All right, so you can pass that hundred of hundred of that request to this sequencer, and what the sequencer gonna do? It gonna like find tries to find out the logic, trying to find out the logic, the randomness, like how this all hundred of the different unique code are similar, or what can be the logic behind that. So it's gonna analyze all the request and it's gonna give us back the possible logics over there, right? That's all right. So that's about the sequencer, I guess. Okay. Talking about next.
Ashutosh sir, I think the screen is stuck. Like,
Okay, actually there is some connectivity issue, so that's why I'm just getting out of the
ah,
Zoom. I'm just connected back.
no problem.
Just a minute.
Sure, sure. Yes, all the audience, I can understand there is no screen. He is trying to share. Please be patient. Yes, sir, it is visible now.
Great. So we can continue ahead. Okay. Cool. So we are talking about the sequencer over there, right? So when I was talking about sequencer, I just told that we can use sequencer to analyze between the randomness between all the different responses. So right now we don't have, I don't think so we have any of that randomness. If it's so, I don't think so we have another CSRF token or stuff in the domain name we are using. But just an overview regarding the sequencer, you can just look more, or you can learn more about it, about the sequencer. But for the overview sake, you can just you should know that sequencer has been used to like find the randomness, to find the what the logic behind some random codes if generating from the website or something, right? Talking about the decoder, when you're talking about the decoder now, it is provided by default decoder and encoder present in the in this like in Burpsuite, where what you can do, you can actually decode and encode either for example I have this payload written over here. All right, the payload is nothing but a simple payload where I am just passing here HTML injection. I'm just using here image where in the source I am passing the URL, right? So I have the options like either I can encode this into URL, or either I can encode it into base64 and all, right? Or either, for example, from somewhere I got the password. For example, the what the client is doing, they are just transmitting the password in encrypted format or in the plain text format. Or if they are just transmitting the password in the encrypted format, so you can use this. You can use this to like decode the passwords, or either you can use this to encode your payloads in order to like pass inject the payload, inject the injections, right? So the decoder trap present in the Burpsuite, so it has few of the, it supports few of the options, few of the types, like it can encode and decode into URL, into HTML format, into base64 format. Okay, I will just enter this payload upward so you can see how it's gonna work. So if I just press over here, you can see it can encode into URL, right? Like this. Apart of encoding into URL, it can encode into HTML. It can encode into base64, into ASCII, into other different format. Apart of that, it can also look for the different hashes. It can also encode into different hashes type, right? And also it can use this smart decode option. So if, for example, if you found any of the encoded format, if you found any of the string in the encoded, and you don't know like what's the particular type, what type of encryption or encoding is done over there, then you can try this smart decode option also, which gonna like decode that for you, right? Also, okay, it also works in text as well as hex format, right? That's about the decoder. You can decoder has been used like most commonly used for various type. If you are trying to find any of the bugs or trying for any of the injection kind of, so you always have to use the decoders. Like there are various cases where the payloads has been like rejected or it will not execute because of like a wife present over there or some validation over there, which so for in that case what you have to do, you have to first encode your payload into some different format, into URL, into base64, and then after encoding you have to inject that payload, and then that can be a chance that your payload will be executed, right? Talking about the comparator tag, what the comparator tab does, in this comparator tab we can compare two different requests. So for example, I have a request of for example, let's do this. There's a this is the particular request, right? So in this request, what I'm doing, the query, I'm just passing here admin, right? After passing here the admin, whatsoever response I am getting, okay, I just send it a request of admin, right? I would whatsoever response I'm getting from there, I'm going to pass that response to comparer, right? I have sent that response to the comparer. So in the comparer section, you can see I have sent one the response. After that, I'm going to change from admin to something else. So for example, what I'm going to do, just a minute. Okay. I will just change the admin with something called as, you can say, hacker. It's gonna work, right? Okay, sir. Hacker. And I will send the request. In the response, I will get in the response for the query of hacker, right? I gonna send this also into the comparer by doing the right click. I can send to comparer. And when I come to the comparer, I can actually compare like what are the difference between these two tabs. What are the difference between these two requests? Like we can compare on the basis of word. So we can check like here the length is different, the dates are different, and when we scroll down, we can check there is some string is also different over there, right? So we can use comparer to like to compare two different requests. So how for we can use the comparer, like for example, in most of the case it is not possible for you also to like identify the differences between two requests manually. So you can use comparer to identify either the request you are just you are just visiting or viewing is how different from existing one or previous one, right? So you can use comparer over there. Talking about this logger. So what the logger is? The logger is like it contains the log of all the Burpsuites. So when I'm talking about the log, it's not only contain the history of proxy tab, it's gonna contain the logs of dashboard, of all the scans we are running, of the dashboard, of the proxy tab, of the intruder, of the repeater, and all. So in short, in the logger, it's gonna store all the logs from all the different tabs at one single place. So you can just filter them out on the basis of your requirement. Like if you want to filter out only the request which are having 200 success, and if you apply, then it's gonna filter all the request and it's gonna show only the request having the response as 200, right? Uh, okay. Right. Apart of that, we can filter on various different bases on the different use cases, depending upon your use case and scenarios. So in short, when you're talking about the logger, it's something which is different from your history. Like in the proxy tab, you can see the history. It is different from the history. It is different from your dashboard logs over there. So for example, while crawling, we can see while crawling, it has discovered around 4,239 requests, right? So that 4,239 request can be seen in the logger also. Okay. When our intruder was doing some brute force attack, all the requests which are going on can be seen in the logger also, right? So logger contain the log of all the Burpsuite, all the events working on the Burpsuite over there. So logger contain all at the same at the one single place, and you can just filter on the basis of your use cases. Okay. Moving ahead with the next tab, that is extension tab. When we're talking about the extension tab now, extension tab is something which uses like which give us the option to like provide the add-on to add the add-on to our Burpsuite, right? So when we're talking about the extension tab, you can literally add various different plugins. You can add various different like okay. So in the extension tab, you can see installed. Like there are three different tabs: installed, app stores, and APIs. When we're talking about the installed, in installed, it's gonna show us what are the different extension we have already installed in our Burpsuite. So when we're talking about the extension in Burpsuites, so there are is my okay, my screen is gone, I guess. Okay, just let me share my screen again. Okay, fine. So I was just talking about just give me a second. Till the time the screens come back, we are just talking about why we use the extension tab, right? So we use extension tab to like to use to like add the add-ons in our Burpsuites. So we can use the why we want add-ons in our Burpsuites. to enhance, to increase the features, to enhance the features provided by the Burpsuite itself, right? So when we're talking about the enhancement in the extension tab, you can go to App Store, B App Store, that is Burpsuite App Store. In that B App Store, you can check out that there are multiple different plugins present over there, like 403 bypasser, active scan plus plus, which is one of the best plugin, I guess. Right? There are various different plugins on the base, which like which can be useful on the basis of a use case scenario, or you can use that to find the different vulnerabilities and bug hunting, right? So these are the various different plugin which can be helpful. For example, CSRF scanner, right? So we use CSRF scanner for we can use CSRF scanner for scanning the CSRF tokens and trying to bypass the CSRF token and find the vulnerabilities related to CSRF token. So how we can install these plugins? So for example, I want to install this active scan plus plus, right? So this particular plugin active scan plus plus is dependent on Jython. So Jython is nothing but Jython is a language which is combination of Java and Python, right? So when I'm talking about the Jython, Jython is required for as a dependency for few of the extensions, but there are few other which can be installed without Jython, which can be installed, which are dependent on Ruby and all, right? So there are few all extension which is not dependent of any of other languages apart of Java. So the dependency, like it depend upon on which language the particular plugin is made upon. So you can install Jython first. After that, you can go for few of the plugins, or either you can just install plugins which are available directly. So for example, we can go for this bypass WAF. So this bypass WAF, this particular plugin is available free for all. Like it can be available in community version also. So for installing this plugin, you just have to press on install button. So once you click on the install button, Burpsuite gonna install that plugin from the GitHub, and it's gonna like set up that particular extension in your Burpsuite software itself. And next time we're gonna use that extension also, right? And also there are various different extension which has been used by security engineers, by bug hunters in their day-to-day life, because extension helps them to make their task easier, right? When we're talking about next step given is like APIs. So why the APIs is used? So for example, if you are just trying to automate the stuff, if you are trying to make your own stuff, make your own scripts, so you can use the APIs provided by the Burpsuite itself, right? So how it gonna use? So Burpsuite provide the APIs by itself. For example, for HTTP, they are providing here. You can see the for HTTP, they are providing their own APIs, which we can use for like for automating the stuff, for making our own scripts and all, right? Okay. So APIs is like if you're like using DevOps kind of stuff, if you just automate, if you want to automate the scanning in your CI/CD pipelines also, then also you can go opt for the APIs. So when we're talking about the enterprise version now, so in enterprise version, the APIs has been given in like more better format, so you can use them directly, right? But right now they have provided few of the here also, which we can use to like make our own extension if you want to. So for example, I want to make my own extension, right? I want to make my own extension for particular task, and for that I want to call the Burpsuite API, so I can use all the APIs provided over here, right? Next, in the extension settings, we can just check out like what are the different settings they have provided, what are different set access to the settings they have provided. Like we can set here the Jython jar file locations. We can set here the Java environment options if you want to set dependencies, right? If there is some dependency issues, like apart of that also, if you have installed Ruby, for example, so you can select the files of the Ruby, so you can go and download the different extension for Rubies and all. So while talking about the extension setting, you can opt for this, right? Okay. So right now I have just installed the bypass WAF extension, right? So in the tab you can see here bypass WAF extension has been installed, and which can be accessible easily. I can just configure it according to myself. right? So using extension is very easy in the Burpsuite. You can install extension from here, or rather you can install your own extension manually from the GitHub and all, right? So extension, like it's kind of add-on, or you can say booster from GitHub, from you can use from GitHub also, but it's a booster for Burpsuite only, right? Talking about the extension setting, I guess we have covered extension settings also. And okay, talking about the settings, the main settings over there. So in the setting is nothing but it's gonna show the setting of all the all the things. Like you can see the settings of for user interface, where you can see the in the display you can set your font size. Like if you want to set the font size to something 16 or 15, you can modify from there, right? It's gonna like zoom some. You can see some kind of zoom in the background, right? If you want to set your theme to light or dark, you can set from there also, right? You're gonna set your theme from light or dark or something, correct? So you can explore all like different other settings provided over there. And while if you want to learn more about GitHub, more about this Burpsuite, you can go to GitHubs, right? You can go to GitHub. There are very different repositories present over there. You can learn from the very different references provided by the Burpsuite itself. You can start learning from here also. So it's gonna show you the Portsinger labs, Portsinger documents and all, right? So you can learn Burpsuite from yourself. And now getting back to the scan which we have done. So this is a kind of automated scan we have done initially, right? So we have till now founded around 8 critical issues, one moderate issues, high risk issues, and normal informative issues in our website, right? Like cgi.exe and all. Okay, so we have found few of the issues over there. We have found CSRF, we have found open redirection and all. So these all are the issues which has been found by the Burpsuite automated scan itself. So while talking about Burpsuite in summary, so Burpsuite is one of the one you can say Burpsuite is one of the important as well as powerful tool. So if you utilize Burpsuite at its like maximum level, like if you utilize each and every feature of Burpsuite now, so you can do most of the task like without depending on any other tool. You can do your like for example the sublister also. We use the sublister for like enumerating your subdomain, your directories, right? You can use that also. You can use for enumeration. You can use a Burpsuite for enumeration of directories and subdomains also, right? And similarly, if you are using diet search and all, instead of that, you can use Burpsuite. And yeah, there are various different use cases for Burpsuite because Burpsuite provided us a bundle of different features, and it totally depends upon how you're gonna use that all feature according to your use case, according to your scenarios, right? So that's all for now. I guess we can just open for questions if there are any, right? So yeah, Nikhil sir.
Yes, yes.
I guess like we can stop here today, so we can just proceed with any of the questions if there.
All right. So yeah, we have a lot of questions here, and obviously it was a detailed and a great session. So there are a lot of good comments and feedbacks which are coming in. So I'm just posting the form for the quiz and the feedback link so that everyone can post the quiz feedback link, and the assignments are also uploaded for the session. Also, and now I'll take questions.
Sure.
Okay, I have pinned the link on YouTube, so everyone can find that link. Okay, so now I will post all the questions here to you separately. Just give me a minute. Okay, sir, I've sent you over the message. Please check it, and you can take it one by one.
Okay. So talking about the questions, explain about the extender. Okay. And what is meaning of crawl? How to use Burpsuite to save files?
Okay,
And
so
what can be
Ashutosh sir, you can take one by one question. You can read the question and then give the answer so that everyone understands what is the question about, and then answer also. Okay.
Sure, sure. So I guess one of the interesting question over here is like, okay, we can start from the top. What is mean by crawls? And when we are talking about the crawls now, so crawl is nothing but, for example, I want to, there is a website. Okay, for example, there's a website named Ashutosh Upadhyay. There's a tag, or you can say avcdu.com or any other random website. All right. And I instead of visiting our website manually, I want to just check out like what are the different links present over there, what are the different URLs, or you can say hyperlinks or JavaScripts used over there. What are I want to, like, instead of visiting that manually, I want my APIs to do that, right? I want my I want to request all the different stuff over there, right? So in short, I want to crawl that website. That is what called as crawling the website. So what we do, we just crawl the website. We gather all the information present over there. And talking about the information, it's nothing but we gather all the data. We gather the data present over there, like which may include your CSS, your JS, and all the and all and all different like in short, crawl is nothing but uh, sending your request, multiple requests on the website, and on the basis to just collect the different data from the website, right? Okay. Talking about next question, how to use Burpsuite to save file from particular link which can be manipulated, like IDOR. Okay, so when we're talking about to use the Burpsuite to save files from a particular link which can be manipulated, when we're talking about the manipulated files from IDOR, like for example, if I send the request to question mark a file equals to 1 or file equals to 2, file equals to 3, I'm sending multiple requests and multiple file gonna be downloaded, right? So what I can do, I can just use Intruder in order to gather in order to capture what are the files are getting to me, right? I can use Intruder to automate that. I can use Intruder in the file in the file number. It can be like dependent upon what are the scenario, what type of website it is. So if you are using IDOR, for example, if you we take the basic example, file name equals to 1, file name equals to 2, and all. So if you just try 1, 2, 3, and a simple list over there, so every time the request hit, it gonna get back you the file in that response. So you can also create your, you can say what it called, not that. Just a minute. The sequence, not in the sequencer. Uh, just a minute. Okay. So what you can do, you can just create a simple sequence, like when I'm talking about the sequence, so it's gonna repeat it. So for example, for the login one, what I've shown, like if you want to do a login, automated login every time, right? So you can record the steps for that. What you can do, you can record the steps, like I have to go to the login page, I have to click the username and password, I have to enter that, and I just recorded all the APIs getting over that, right? So similarly for the IDOR, for downloading the file from the IDOR, you can use Burpsuite simply, or else you can create a simple Python file also. So when we are talking about simple creating a simple file, Python file script, So you can send multiple APIs, get APIs. In get APIs, you can just pass your different values in that, like for example, file name equals to 1, file name equals to 2, file name equals to 3. You can pass different number over there, and you can change the number from the Python script, or you can just add your script with the this intruder only, right? So every time it's gonna hit a API in the response, it's gonna capture the response and save that response into a particular file, right? So in this manner, you can download all the file which can be accessible using the IDOR. All right. Next question is how to perform SSRF by using Burpsuite tool. Okay, we're talking about SSRF using Burpsuite tool. Okay, so in Burpsuite there are few other features also present. Okay, so we're not talking about SSRF, right? So I guess it's in the extension tool also. Yeah. So you can find SSRF by like various different means. Like you can use the Burpsuite or engagement tools, where you can just discover the from the engagement tool. What you can do? Okay, what you can do? You can just check for this POC CSF POC. Yes, is present over there. So just a minute, I can just show you that also. Generate CSRF POC. So when you're talking about CSRF POC, you can generate the POC of CSRF also. But while talking about the SSRF also, you can just intercept the request. You can check whether the particular request is shown in the response or not. And on the basis of that, you can just find out whether the SSRF can be like done, or like, see, the thing is, if you want to hunt for the SSRF, right? So that's nothing but your server side forgery request, right? So when you're hunting of SSRF, you can use Burpsuite tools like you can use this Collaborator. What you can do, you can generate the link. You can just enter the link in the input field and just submit it, right? And if the input field has been triggered from the server side, right, from the server side, then it's gonna show you in the logs that your particular link has been triggered on the server side, and you can just check out like what is the IP of that server, and like at what time it was triggered, and what was the location for that, and all of the details over there. So this is a very simple step for finding the SSIF, or either you can go opt for the manual one, like you can just check your create your canary token. You can go to interception. What I did here is like you just pass through the repeater, and you can just do the manually entering all the canary token over there and sending to the server, right? All right, so that's the basics. That is a simple step to SSRA. Next question come to us is like, next question is, does Burpsuite also come under recon? Because we are monitoring the traffic of a particular website. All right. When you're talking about the recon now, so reconnaissance is nothing but gathering the information about your target. Correct. So when we are using Burpsuite to gather all the requests, to gather the traffics, and to like intercept the traffics in our dashboards, in our proxy tabs, in all the stuff, right? So in short, you can use Burpsuite for reconnaissance, for attacks, just depending on of use case. It's just a tool, right? It's up to you how you are going to utilize this tool according to your need. You can utilize this tool for the reconnaissance. You can just start here the active scanning. You can just go and, for example, I want to scan the website, this one, Ultra Mutual, or let's say Tesla.com. What I will do, I will just start the proxy tab, and I will just start the new live scan over here, right? I will start live scanning over here. I will do a live crawling over here, right? And what I will do, I will just go on the Tesla.com, and I will try to click on each and every you can say features or buttons, just to get to know what they are doing. All right. But in the background, what the Burpsuite is doing, it's gonna like add all the unique URL I'm clicking, and it's gonna perform the crawling over there, right? So in short, I am doing a reconnaissance over there only. Correct. So you can use Burpsuite for reconnaissance as well as for attack also. Okay. Next question is like, how is Burpsuite is different from OAuth Zap? So when you're talking about OAuth Zap now, OAuth Zap is something which is alternative of Burpsuite, correct? But OAuth Zap doesn't provide as much feature as Burpsuite Professional does. So when we are comparing the OAuth Zap with Burpsuite Professional now, there are multiple feature which is not present in the OAuth Zap, which can be found in the Burpsuite. OAuth Zap, yeah, you can also intercept your request from the OAuth Zap. OAuth Zap can also be used as like man in the middle attack, just like the Burpsuite. It can also use to like temper the request for crawling. But apart of that, like the extension part, you can use the intruder and all the part. The you can say like the Burpsuite has the advantage over OAuth. So you can use Burpsuite Professional instead of OAuth, right? The next question I guess we have is, what is proxy and how to set? I guess he want to say what is proxy proxy. So proxy is nothing but the when we set up in the Firefox, what we have did, we have in the Firefox we have set up the we have set up that, sorry, CS certificate and proxy over there, right? So instead of doing manually, we can opt for the extension. What extension? We can install the plugin in our browser. In that plugin, we have to just enter the that 127.0.0.1, that is our local host, and the port on which Burpsuite is going on. So we don't have to just go to the setting and add all of the CA certificate and all. So we can skip that part by using the Foxy Proxy add-on, which is available for Chrome and Firefox both. All right. Talking about the next question. The next question is, what is regex? And please tell us about what the feature is about and why they can use it. Okay. Talking about regex now, the regex is nothing but it gonna like categorize, or you can say it gonna filter out the character matching with yourself. For example, I'm just searching for admin word, right? I want to for all the request in which admin is present over there. So if I will just define case sensitive and I will just don't define regex now, it's gonna for the admin, like only admin. Before admin, after admin, there can be or there can't. It's not gonna look for that. So if there is some words, if there is administrator, if there is something called as re-admin or some I am admin, something without spaces, right? So it's not gonna filter out them. But when you're talking about the rejects, what you do, it just
Hello, Ashish sir. We are not able to hear you. I think you'll be joining again. Not it. Fill the form. Like we have more 10 minutes left, and make sure you're not only filling the quiz form. Feedback form is also compulsory and important. And those who have not filled the skill set form, please fill that. Those who have filled the assignment submission form, no need to fill it again repeatedly. Because once your link is submitted, all the assignments are uploaded in that link. So it is only for once. Feedback form and quiz form is something which you need to fill it after every session, and this compulsory. So last 9 minutes are left, and yeah, we are checking with Ashish. There is some network issue with him.
Okay, fine. So I was just answering the question. The question was how to make custom configuration for SQLI and SSRF, right? So what I said is like, if you want to make your custom configurations for SQLI or for SSRF, not only for both, so it actually depend upon what type of vulnerability you are targeting. So for example, if you are targeting SQLI, right? So what you can do, what you can do, you can add the rejects to like filter out the request in which in the id like something question mark uid equals to something, or question mark book equals to something is present over there, or like something related to that, so that you can just try the injection over there. For example, if there is something like your id equals to 1 or user equals to 1 in the url, right? So you can try for the injection, or you can try for the IDOR over there. Like in the present, instead of 1, you can try 2, you can try 3, you can try the payload for SQL injection and all, right? So for making a custom, for making your custom configuration for SQLI, you have to like make your regex first, or you can utilize various different features by Burpsuite, right? But not talking about only related to SQLI. You can target various different vulnerabilities, and on the basis of vulnerabilities, you can opt for the custom configurations. So, for example, if I am just trying to like target some, you can say injection attack, normal injection attack. You can say HTML injection and all. So, what I can do, I can try that feature called as like match and replace, right? So, what I will do in any of the request, what I will just set in the match and request is like if the payload injected in the request is also present in the response, then I will just try to inject a HTML string, HTML payloads over there. So I can try P1 P in the P, that is a paragraph tag, and I can try something. I can try something image and all. So you can made your custom configurations according to your vulnerabilities you want to target, and that totally depend upon how that vulnerability works and how you can just filter out that vulnerability, right? Okay, next question is that if proxy is not working on a local ip, then what will do the next? Okay, the proxy is not working on a local ip. So in this case, the thing is proxy will work on the local ip because you have installed your Burpsuite on your local ip only, right? So if your case is something like that, you have two different laptops and both are connected to the same Wi-Fi, right? And if you want to like intercept your request from another laptop to your own laptop, like you want to intercept all the request, so you can go there the browser, you can just set up the proxy on another laptop, but in place of ip you have to enter the ip of the pc in which Burpsuite is installed. So when we're talking about why we need to enter the ip of a pc in which Burpsuite is installed, is because Burpsuite is actually setting up the listener, right? So when in my case Burpsuite is installed in my laptop only, so that's why in the place of ip I have entered 127.0.0.1, which is nothing but my local ip, my home ip, right? So it should work properly. Like you can just go through, you can just see like if you are entering your correct port or not, correct ip or not. If there is something you can say typing error or something, just figure it out because it's gonna work properly over there. Next, talking about next question is what is CA certificate? Okay, the question is what is CA certificate? So when we're talking about digital certificate and digital signatures now, so SSL certificate, like we use the protocols like HTTPS in which SSL certificate is used, right? SSL certificate is nothing but the example of digital certificate, correct? So in which CA certificate is nothing but your certificate authority, like the authority which authorize the SSL certificate, or which authorize the certificate for encryptions and decryptions, like right. So CA certificate is nothing but a CA authority which are going to authorize the certificate. We are going to verify whether your SSL certificate is correct or not. But in our case, why we need CA certificate is like we want to perform the man in the middle attack, right? But not only for HTTP, we want to do this for HTTP as well as for HTTPS. So we had configured CA certificate so that we can also intercept the request belonging to HTTPS, so that we are telling our browser that yeah, this CA of a Burpsuite, the CA of Burpsuite, that is the authority, certificate authority of Burpsuite. I am giving permission to this certificate that he can intercept, he can check whether the other certificate, other SSL certificate are valid or not, or the request are encrypting are valid or not. So that by like using the advantage or by taking the advantage of this permission, we are just intercepting the request in Burpsuite. Okay. Next question is how one can identify whether the server is vulnerable to accesses SQLs, URS just by seeing the request and response. Okay, so when we're talking about just by seeing the request and response, it can be possible in few cases. Like it can't always possible that you can define whether your website is vulnerable to any into any vulnerabilities like SQL accesses or something. So the thing is for like verifying whether your website is vulnerable to them or not, you can just test them. You can try various different tools and all, but for the sake of like very simple sake, if in your website is something is like question mark ID is something going on, then you can just predict that yeah, if ID equals to something is going on or something equals to kind of going on, then you can predict yeah, some kind of injection can be possible over here. You can try various different injection. You can try for IDOL, you can try for SQL, you can try for accesses, and you can just monitor the response also, like how the website is responding. So for example, if I'm trying the accesses payload, is the response I'm getting is 200 okay, or the response I'm getting is 404 not found, right? For example, if I'm injecting SQL injection, the response I'm getting is 200 okay or something else, right? If I'm getting 403, that is the request is blocking my the server is blocking my request, or some WAF is present over there something. So by monitoring your request and response simultaneously, you can able to identify. You have to like actually test them in order to like make sure like to like in order to make sure that you find the vulnerabilities. Okay. Next question is that what is like major difference between Burp as well as Zap? So when we're talking about the difference between Burp and Zap, so both of the tool we use, like we use both of the tool for intercepting, right? Where the OAuth Zap is nothing but it is free, it's community version, but in the Burp suite we have different editions, like for community edition as well as professional editions. When we compare OAuth with community edition, OAuth won. Like it is better. But when we compare the OAuth with Burpsuite professional version, OAuth professional version like has advantage, right? The Burpsuite Pro is like it is a like commercial tool by Portswinger. Like it charges so it can be one of the point you can choose Zap over Burpsuite Pro. But when you're talking about the features, when you're talking about the other things, Burpsuite gives a leverage, the access to like do more stuffs, to do more things with to play with your request, as well as to find vulnerabilities more like you can say more being in your comfort zone, or not comfort zone, like being I'm giving you the access of more tools in order to test, in order to monitor, right? So in this case, I will suggest, like in my personal opinion, I will suggest you can opt for Burpsuite Professional instead of Zap. That's all. I guess we had covered all the questions, right? So
Yes, you have covered all the questions, and as the time is also up for the quiz. So thank you very much, like Ashutosh sir and everyone who has attended today's session. Make sure you complete all the assignments before the next session. Assigned in the assignment sheet, assignment for session 4. We have added the link, so make sure you are like completing all this, and after completion, upload the screenshot. Need not to fill the assignment form again there. And thank you very much, Ashutosh sir, for such a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
also, if
Thank you.
anybody have any, they can connect on social media.
Yes, so please connect with Ashutosh Sal's LinkedIn profile, so that if you have anything, you can get in touch. Thank you very much.